We're back in the wonderful world of Lower Ward? Yes. And as for what we're doing, let's check our journal. It'll update itself plenty for us today. I never told that Rat King how to kill the skeleton man, and I never told the Dusties where they get the bodies from. Hey there. This is the important one. We have to find the Night Hag, Ravel Puzzlewell. I should journey to the Civic Festive Hall. Okay.
I'm gone.
Maybe I just go to the upper ward? Maybe I just leave my current ward? The clerk's ward? Are you drunk?
All right.
Diligence nods your approach. Oh, we spoke. Okay, hello. Oh, right, she was that lady that I, engaged in a word battle. Clerk's ward citizen. This clean, well-dressed woman is clearly on her way somewhere. Greetings. She pauses to look at you, her eyes momentarily widening. She looks around her to see if you were calling to someone else and smiles uneasily. Pardon me, but I don't know. Suddenly your eyes all alight on Mort. Oh, what a cute little mimmer. Something troubling about my appearance? No, not in the least. The woman laughs nervously. Well, perhaps. She gestures to your scarred, naked torso. You are a bit more fierce-looking than the ward's typical inhabitants, no? Please take no offense at my words. None taken. I got these scars when I had amnesia. I'm on my way somewhere, sir, with little time left to reach my destination. She takes a step backwards, so if you wouldn't mind, well then, nobody wants to fucking talk. Yeah, somebody mentioned last time I can use the decanter, but I think I have to get it enchanted. I think I have to do something else to rescue Ignis. What's this? You can't determine what this odd device is. Thanks, game. Hello? Drunken mage? I've been there, brother. This older man is staring into his stein of ale, misery etched into his features. The battered pewter mug is an unusual one, lightly engraved with strange runes and bearded faces, and covered with a coat of thin frost. He looks up as you approach him. Greetings, sir. He looks slightly tipsy. Is something wrong? He sighs, belches into his hand, and nods as he takes another pull of ale. Aye, something's wrong, all right. I've gone and lost my apprenticeship. Well, hungover I was and botched my mentor's last experiment. All for this damn drink. He sneers at the mug in his hand, but in seconds his expression softens and he takes another swig. Ruins everything it does, this damnable drinking of mine. You could stop.
Updated my journal.
I've updated my journal. Apparently it's not that easy to stop drinking. Interesting. Dear diary. He shrugs and sighs miserably. I simply cannot. I want to, but I cannot. I just need to drink. I try and stay away, but desire eventually overcomes me, and I cannot resist. Such a wreck I've become. He throws back the last of his ale and calls for more. What's with the magical mug? This? He looks down at the pewter mug. I won this in a dice game. It's enchanted to keep whatever's in it freezing cold. In my case, cheap ale. He frowns, rubs at his eyes, and takes another swig. Is something wrong? If you can't stop drinking, you're a little bitch later. That's too bad. Farewell. Oh, you have a name? Hello? This tall, slender woman sipping wine from a small ceramic cup appears to be looking for someone. Her facial features are elegantly exotic, and the woman's ears, though partially covered by her long hair, can be seen to come to sharp points. Greetings. The woman turns to face you, violet eyes flashing like flawless chips of amethyst. Her speech is as music. You can hear a faint musical tinkling, 100 tiny crystal bells as she speaks. Each word lingers in your ears, as if they were unwilling to relinquish the exquisite sound. Namel turned to face the scarred, dour stranger. She asked what he wished of her. Holy shit. Is she narrating what she's doing? Wow. Stop your drooling, you Lyran skull. My, what a hot-blooded little chit. Starved for attention? I could drool over you, too, if you're just jealous. Mort starts floating towards Anna, making wet slavering noises. Get a hair's breadth closer, Skull, and I'll see to it that none of your chattering teeth lies within 100 pieces of another. Mort stops abruptly, turning away while muttering unintelligibly. You're Namel. I was told you know the command word for this decanter. What? I don't remember that. Is that Ignis's girlfriend? No, Ignis's girlfriend is in the bar. The woman makes no move to touch or examine the decanter, but only speaks. Namel took it from the stranger, turning it in her hands. Had she seen its like before, she thought? Perhaps. Yes, she remembered now. She returned the decanter, whispering into his ear as she did so. You realize the word now. Nildenosage, of course. Why didn't I think of that? Though you're certain the woman never whispered to you, but merely said she did. She blinks at you. Would the stranger leave her now, satisfied with what she had told him? Okay, that was weird, but I guess we did it? I don't remember doing it. Beasts? Ouch. Sorry, people in my party. NPC, there we go. Journal. Enter search term. Radical. Decanter. Magical decanter. Here we go. Glyve told me to seek out a woman named Namel in the clerk's ward so that I might find the word that will unleash the full power of the decanter of endless water. Who the hell is Glyve? I know this happened. I just don't remember it. Well, I guess we can go save Ignis. Well, I'm trying to find the Civic Festive Hall first. The brothel of slating intellectual lusts? It's a little drawn out. I guess if it's in the fancy part of town, you don't want to call your brothel like the Dick Suckery. Richard's Rest. That's a classy brothel name. Shrava's Toady. Is that the Civic Festive Hall? It is. That's fucking big. Well, let's just explore this map and then go see if we can save Ignis, force him to join our party. Then we'll have a lot of wizards, actually, because I'm a wizard. Dakan's kind of a wizard. Ignis for sure is a wizard. A barkeeper just out in the streets. Fancy part of town. It's like Las Vegas. The apothecary. The curiosity shoppy. Let's do some light shoppy. I only have 500 copper commons to my name, so no promises, but we can see if he's got any sweet wares. That's clearly not the way in Nameless One. Go this way. Curiosity shop. Weird blue woman. Although I do have like a tiefling in my party. Yeah, I'm talking. This sharp-featured woman's appearance is attractive, though somewhat disturbing, with her blue-black skin and bright yellow eyes. As she examines you, a small pair of bat-like wings unfold from her back. All right, so she's not a drow. Then seem to settle back into her skin. Well, a floating, disembodied, prevaricating skull. Man, everyone in this district loves Mort. She narrows her eyes. You're the scarred man who's been going around asking all the questions? She looks you up and down. You sure look lost. Did you want to come in, really? Or are you just casing the place because you have nothing better to do? Because Vrishika can help you. What is this place? How can you help me? I travel and trade extensively. I hear a great deal. I purchase a great deal, and I own a great deal. Perhaps I can make you a great deal. Is there anything you desire? What are you selling? Weapons and charms? The exotic items. Hopefully not the sort of Richard's Rests kind of stuff. She smiles as you look at the various shelves in the middle of the shop. If you see nothing you like here, there are more items towards the front and the back of the store as well. The Fiend's Tongue. You examine what appears to be a tongue floating in a jar of brine. Vrishika frowns at it. This is a fiend's tongue. A Cornigan's, I think, but who really knows? It's said that, placed into the mouth of any living thing, it will give the ability of speech, even if there was none before. I'm selling this oddity for only 66. Yes, you never know. The copper you pour into her hand seems to disappear the moment it touches her palm. She hands you the item. Please enjoy your newest acquisition. Neat, exotic items again. Tell me about the Gorgon Salve. You examine a bottle labeled Gorgon Salve. Vrishika holds it up for you. I traded for this with some sword-slinging prime worlder. Perseus, I think, was his name. Smeared onto the surface of any being turned to stone, it will revert them to flesh. Only 100 copper common. That is a bargain. I will take it. A wise choice. Copper gets absorbed into her skin. She should see a doctor about that. What else do we got? The metallic cube figurine. You examine a small metallic replica of a cube-like creature with huge eyes on one of its faces. The toy has 2 legs, 2 arms, 2 folding wings, and at least 18 points of articulation. Vrshika smiles as you pick it up. A collector's item, perhaps, or a piece of artwork. Who knows? But I like it. If you do buy it, ask around. Someone might know more about it than I. You can have it for only 1,500 copper. That's way outside my budget. Tell me about the monster jug. You examine a plain-looking jug. Despite its common appearance, you feel reluctant to touch the thing, as if it might bite you. Vrshika watches you, chuckling, then shrugs. It's a jug. It's got some sort of monster trapped in it. That's why your hair is prickling up like that. If you'd like it, it's only 123 copper. Oh, that's reasonable. Yeah, I'm just very poor right now. That's why I didn't buy the cube. Look to the front. Jesus! I don't have time for this. Weapons and charms. The Hammer of Comminution. 4 to 14 plus 1 to 6. Research reveals that this is a formidable weapon indeed. Far superior to a normal sledgehammer, this warhammer, also called the Hammer of Comminution, delivers a devastating strike that not only inflicts crushing damage, but also fractures any surface it contacts, inflicting extra damage, and if the victim survives, it also softens him up for the next attack. The Hammer of Contuition was used extensively by Enote, a Doomguard priest in 14 EU, a philosopher who was prone to violent mood swings while debating theology. He is known to espouse the virtues of the hammer as a means of furthering the decay of dead matter. Whether or not what he struck with the hammer was dead or alive before the blow is open to debate. Wacky. Hey, a tier of Celeria Day. Don't I have one of those? Well, now we know that those aren't super unique. Divine Censor. Invokes Raised Dead. No thanks. Teeth of a Fire Dragon. Ooh. I can give these to Mort. These teeth look more like lumps of charred bones than actual teeth, although their origin is unknown. It can be deduced that they were taken from some fire-breathing creature. Using the teeth grants the wearer certain benefits normally possessed by such creatures. Immunity to fire does fire. Only $7,800. Well, a magnifying glass. Hello. This snap-on lens is good for examining things up close, but makes for a poor sighting scope. Usable only by Mordrins. Huh. Only by Modrins. Okay. It's a Dread Bond. Usable only by fighters and living creatures. You can't panic. Legend has it that this bracelet was created by Nasek the Sadistic. Tiny razor-sharp spikes cover the entire surface of this item, injecting small amounts of rare reagents into the bloodstream of the user. The effect of these chemicals causes the user to feel a constant adrenaline rush of strength. Holy shit, a Scroll of Cloud Kill. Level 5 Wizard. We gotta save up for this. Clouds of death stream forth from the caster and send those not strong enough on a free journey to their deserved plane of rest. It's a fancy way to say they fucking die. A billowing cloud of toxic vapors are created that is so deadly it will slay any creature with fewer than 4+1 hit dice, causing creatures with 4+1 to 5+1 hit dice to roll saving throws versus poison at -4 penalties or be slain, and creatures up to 6 hit dice to roll unmodified saving throws versus poison or be slain. Those above 6 hit dice suffer 1 to 10. Now, what does a hit dice mean in 2nd edition? 60 hit points? I don't know. You know, I'm kind of tempted to sell the... You know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to sell the tiers so I can buy the Cloud Kill. Spider Bracelet is what we gave Anna. No problem, Atari. These ashes, though, are all the remains of a school of illusionists called the Pebulum. Why would they all be in the same jar? According to their expedition logs, they traveled to the plane of Shale in search of the lost works of the Fosterer, a powerful sorcerer who once ruled an empire where the plane of Shale now lies. The naive illusionists were successful, and they stumbled across one of his lost works, a hive of vicious creatures called the Trellins. The remains of the mages were found days later by 2 Burrier scouts and were burned over a pyre as a symbol of their folly. To unlock the power of these ashes, one only needs to stir them with their index finger of the left hand and sprinkle a pinch of the ashes into the air in a circular pattern. The smell of the remains of these dead mages is said to cause a Trellin to appear and serve the user. No one knows where the Trellins originated from, but they seem to combine the worst characteristics of demons and insects. They seem to bear an insane hatred for mages, but the reason for this is unknown. Summons Trellins. I can't use it. And it's only usable by the Nameless One, so that we don't get to use this. Oh, they hate mages. So Heart of the Foster, okay. Summons the Soul Mine, usable only by evil and neutral. I think I'm good. This strange object is said to be the heart of the Foster. According to legend, the Fosterer was a sorcerer who built his empire upon the Plain of Shale many centuries ago. He was rumored to have 3,333 hearts, and each of them carried in it a different evil he had committed in his lifetime. One of the evils he committed was how to summon the Soul Mine and bind them to his will. It is said that the Fosterer was carried away by these beasts after he invoked them against some ancient foe, leaving only his hearts behind. According to planar scholars, the Soul Mine are fiendish horses said to have been born from the blood of the last of the Nightmare Lords. They're not so much flesh and blood as an abstract given substance. They come to anyone who seeks revenge and bind themselves to them. They were born from a great treachery at the Gloom Meet, a time when the fiends gather to speak to the others of their kind. The nightmares ride the skies to gather the fiends to this meeting, acting as messengers. When the fiends saw the nightmares are helpful, convenient allies. No, Wall. They had grown tired of bartering with the last of the Nightmare Lords for his consent to use them. So the fiends called a Gloom Meet only for the purpose of killing. They lured the Nightmare Lord there to kill him, and when he arrived, the fiends set upon him. He beseeched the other nightmares for aid, but they only watched, their eyes aflame as their lord was attacked. The fiends tried to put him in the dead book. They scattered the earth with caltrops, covered with the foulest poisons in the hells, hurled barbed cold iron spears a league wide into him, and when he tried to take to the air to escape, they turned the sky alight with magic, blinding his eyes white. They struck at him with everything in their hateful arsenal, but no matter what they struck him with, he was too proud to die. They hounded him to the edge of the Outlands, firing their cruel arrows and spears into him until he staggered into the hinterland mists and died there, or so it is said. It's said that as a Nightmare Lord stumbled into the midst of the hinterlands, his dark blood left a streaming trail across the landscape. Wherever his blood fell, the Outland itself cried out, wailing like a banshee, uttering the cries the Nightmare Lord would not. Less than a year later, the Soul Mine rode from the hinterlands, seeking out any nightmares and fiends where they could find them. Their cries were the same as had arisen from the blood wounds on the Outlands, and their minds were focused solely on revenge. It is said that gripping the heart of the Soul Mine and wishing harm upon another will cause them to appear. The Soul Mine will answer the user's call and fade into the mists from which they came. Okay, well, I'm buying this spell. I think I'm too stupid to use it, but... no, I can copy it right away. I just might not have the slots. Oh, it's the next one. As soon as we get a level in 5, that's going to be fucking Cloud Kill. Dope. It's all my money.
All right.
What's this? A curious-looking building, to say the least. Okay. Okay, well, lives up to the name. The Linguist. That might come in handy later. Pulls on invisible rope. All right, there's LARPers. Is he even LARPing? I'd stay out of there, citizen. It's dangerous down below. How so? This large red armored figure is standing in place, apparently guarding the stairs beside him. You dimly recall that this ornate armor marks him as an officer of the Harmonium, one who provides law enforcement for the city. Howdy. What are you doing here? He points towards the stairs beside him, which look to descend straight beneath the city. Guarding the stairway, sir. What's down there? To the realm below. Seeing your expression, he continues. Under sigil. You may have heard it called. I've never heard of it. He chuckles loudly, the plates of his armor rattling with the movement. I'm watching for anything that comes out, sir. Things that don't belong in sigil proper. What's down there? Don't concern yourself with it. He regards you curiously for a moment. You're considering going down there, aren't you? Well, be most cautious. Rumors abound of the worst sorts of the creatures living down below. Australians. I need a few answers. He shakes his head. Speak to a citizen, then. All right, bye. I don't want to piss off the Harmonium. To Under Sigil. The Advocate's home. All right, this is everybody on the map. The brothel are getting your dick sucked. So we didn't find the hag in the upper city. Oh, let's go get Ignis. The password is in my journal. I think this.
All right. And do your will be done.
I was wrong. I went to the wrong part of the city.
I'm gone.
Man, imagine if we rescue Ignis and he's strong enough to no cloud kill. Well, I don't have any money. So that'd suck, but 2 guys with cloud kill, just get off of the screen. Alright, good news. Answer some questions. Who's that burning by the entryway? What's your connection to him? Okay, alright, let's just hose him down here. This crackling, billowing creature twists slowly above an iron grill upon the floor of the bar. It may have once been human, but now its skin is charred beyond recognition. Streams of fire form a wreath around the creature's body, and the flames lick at the few remaining pockets of flesh, causing them to bubble and run like wax down the creature's skeletal frame. Don't worry, homie, I got you. You tilt the decanter over the grill and begin to pour. A small stream of ice blue water pours from the decanter and touches the flames of the grill with a violent hissing and a rush of steam. As if in response to this challenge, the decanter seems to lunge forward, falling under the grill and shattering. What the fuck? Ba-ba-ba-ba. Hissing billows of steam and a furious crackling noise rushes from the grill, spilling over you and forcing you to cover your ears and turn away. There's a scream, a cackling, a terrible sound like 100 buildings burning, people screaming. Their screams being cut short by the roar of flame and melting flesh. Cover my ears like a little bitch? As you put your hands over your ears to block out the sound, you feel a stickiness on your hands like hot cheese or candle wax. Your ears are bleeding from the sound. You draw your hands back and see them covered with chunks of melted flesh filled with bloody swirls. Huh. You're about to run from the bar, anything to get away from the sound, when suddenly all fall silent except for jagged crackling coming from the grill. You turn. On the grill lies the decanter of endless water. Now nothing but shards and steam. Above it is the creature, flames still trailing above its body. Floating over the bar's floor, it is staring at you, its eyes flickering like 2 torches. I know you. The creature's face splits, charred flesh peeling away from its jaw so that it might speak. Yes, its voice crackles, burns, roars through the creature's chest, and with every word, flakes of cinder and ash spit from its mouth and drift into the air. You can barely stand to look at the thing. The blazing radiance surrounding is terrible to behold. Ignis.
Long have I slept dreams of flames. I am yours till death comes for us both.
We shall see? Well, that was easy.
Ignis hears you.
Alright, he's still on fire. Didn't go the way I wanted. How you doing, homie? He is a level 7 mage. Holy shit, he might know it right away. He does not have any in fucking... Ooh. Alright, he has Elemental Strike. Infernal Shield. He likes fire. How unexpected. It's all fire. How unexpected. He did love fire. He's a pyromaniac. Ignis's Terror. Well, shit. Let's just get to the brass tacks and make some jibber jabber with him.
Yes.
What happened to make you this way? This way. A small pocket of flesh on his cheek pops and runs in a steaming trickle down his jaw. This way Ignis always was, but you look human. At least you look like you were human once. He twists, hunching his head forward as his body spins slowly above the ground. The effect is much like a fiery whirlwind, thermal steaming off his body and distorting in the air around him. Still Ignis, always Ignis. Alright, more questions. As you open your mouth to speak, he suddenly whirls on you. You're forced to choke back your words as the heat from his frame floods over you. Ignis, might you be sparks in bodies, always seeking to rise? What? All things burn inside. Ignis's head cranes back and throws his arms wide. Spirals of flame and heat traveling up his arms. Only need to be kindled with flames to become Ignis. So, might you have been Ignis? So you're saying everyone has the potential to become like you with the right spark? Yes, he grins, cocking his head to one side. Ashes falling from his skull and being swept up in the flaming wreath that surrounds him. More questions. Your heart jumps as he soars several feet into the air and his jaw tears open, fiery trail spilling forth like a nest of snakes. No more talking, questions. But I wish to speak of flames and of burning. Ba-ba-ba-bum. Your words are like oil, and you watch them fill Ignis's eyes. Fanning the flames, you see their flames. He drifts down slightly, the heat around him rising as if in interest. Speak, Ignis will listen. You're master of the art. Can you teach me your powers? Ignis once knew much, no longer. Ignis burns in suffering. Ignis learns. A tiny flame gusts from his mouth like laughter. and a stream of embers spits forth. Suffer? I'm willing to suffer. I'm immortal. Cook me, brother. As you're about to speak the words, you feel a crawling sensation in the back of your skull. And you're suddenly struck with the certainty that the knowledge Ignis has to teach may permanently scar you, but you don't know how you know this. I will be fine. I am willing to suffer for such knowledge. Suffer? Flames flicker eagerly across the edge of Ignis's mouth, spiraling up along the melted ruin of his face. Burn. Pieces of self are burned away. Ignis may still teach much. Can you teach me some of the art? Where flames once burned, one may send them again. Before you can react, Ignis's claw lashes out and clutches your finger, and with a greedy he burns it, and through the searing pain you close your eyes and scream. Ah. Max HP decreased permanently. I'll live. You force your eyes open to see the burning mass of your hand from where Ignis touched it. He floats above, uncaring, cradling your finger, then snaps the tip off, leaving just the base. He hisses, cinders and ash drifting from his mouth, and he flicks the charred remains of your finger back to you. What did you do?
My journal.
I've updated my journal. He did something. Teachings. Ignis crackles, the sound now strangely painful to your ears. To learn, one must suffer. Tell me more. More. You force your eyes open to see the burning mass of your hand. Only a blackened stump remains. Ooh. Twitching blood steaming from it. He seems oblivious to your pain. His attention is devoted to your severed hand. Give me back my hand. Ignis ignores you. You watch as flames from his hands encircle your severed hand like a wreath, slowly burning the last remains of flesh from it like the sculptor, until only the fused bone remains. He gives a long, low hiss and then flings his creation back to you. You manage to catch it in your remaining hand. You notice the flesh of your severed hand is reknitting itself slowly, painfully. It looks like it's regrowing. What did you do?
My journal.
Updated my journal. He did something. Teachings. More. More. No more. Pieces of self are burned away. Yet no more sharing will Ignis teach. You need pieces of me in order to teach me? What about my eyeball? Ignis lashes out again, his finger like a spear, but he doesn't strike for the eye that you can remove. Instead, he impales your other eye. There's no pain for a moment, only surprise. Then you scream as Ignis lets loose a stream of flames into your socket. They seem to eat into your skull. The hiss of burning flesh fills your nostrils and smoke clouds your vision.
I feel stronger.
You force your eyes open through your bloodied vision, yet only one eye opens. You can barely make out Ignis hovering in the air in front of you, his hands cupping a small orb of flame in his hands, your eye, seemingly untouched by the heat. As you watch, his hands cover the eye, and you feel a second burning pain in your eye socket. And suddenly, even through the searing pain, you can see correctly again. Ignis opens his hand, and within it you can see the ruined mass of your eyeball, barely recognizable, yet your eye is still in its socket. He cackles, and with a breath of flame, the eyeball rises from his grasp and drifts over to you, like a flake of ash in the air. The eyeball.
Updated my journal.
Tiny snakes of flame spiral from Ignis's ruined sockets, traveling up past his charred skull. More teachings. The two snakes of flame circle around behind him, then flare into torches in his hands. More sufferings. Oh man, let's just quadruple down here. Nope, there's nothing left. I wish to speak more of flames and burning. What were you doing here at the smoldering corpse bar? For a moment, you don't think Ignis has heard you, when suddenly the fires in his eyes dim slightly and he gives you a soft hiss. Cinders and ash dancing at the edges of his jaw. Ignis once knew nothing of flames. Go on. Ignis knew nothing of flames. He set small fires, tiny flames, tiny flickerings, small bits of flame. He hisses again. Ashes and fiery motes drifting from the ruin of his mouth. The fires grew. Ignis set fires in the streets and lit the fires of anger in their hearts. Okay. You speak, but he doesn't seem to hear you. He seems to be somewhere else, as if reliving a memory through his words. Against your will, you stop and listen. They sought to punish Ignis, the small flies from the hive. They wished to see Ignis burn after Ignis set fire to their streets. Tiny magelings, hedge wizards, rune casters, tiny sparks of magic came to punish Ignis for hurting their loved ones. They sentenced Ignis to burn, made Ignis a torch, a spitting flame, burning, burning. It was justice, they said. Justice. You watch, mesmerized, as Ignis begins slowly turning again. as he did above the grill and the smoldering corpse. But it was not a sentence. There's so much flames and pain, there is no pain. There's light and heat. And the flesh runs as tallow across my bones, and for the first time, Ignis is pleased. Ignis stops his rotation, and his gaze falls upon you. As it does, the fires in his eye flare, and a charred grin splits his features, the flesh crackling and bubbling as it melts and streams across his face. Ignis wears the face of all hells of flames. And his next words are spoken like a death sentence, not only for you, but for everyone, everywhere. When the plains burn and all life is torches, then Ignis shall at last be at peace. Okay, well.
I feel stronger.
Well, that's pretty good. I'm not too weak. I am a wizard. Yeah, like, he's barely got any health. Look at this. Memorization abilities have increased. A characteristic point. I forgot to double check what our maximum wisdom is. Let's go for more intelligence. Well, I know it goes to 25, but I don't know if we need it to be 25. Okay. And then, do I have room for Cloud Kill yet? Oh, there it is. Welcome to hell. No more level 1s, though. Not too shabby. We both have 42. Look at that. I am a level 9. He's a level 7. So, I got pretty fucked up there. Did he give me items or something, or was that just in exchange for XP? Whoop. Ignis. Oh, Ignis's hand. Jesus. Oh, it lets me absorb his spells. This is the scorched remains of your eye, blistered by Ignis's touch. Ignis has hinted that this charred remain of your eye somehow holds a fraction of his infernal power. Now passed on to you. To invoke its power, you must crush the blackened eyeball between both your hands, then take the ashes and touch them to each eyelid. Doing so will transfer a small portion of Ignis's arcane knowledge to you, giving you the knowledge of how to show others brief, terrible glimpses of the elemental forces Ignis draws upon. The sight is usually enough to cause living creatures to flee for their lives, sure. Infernal orb. This is your charred hand. It has been severed at the wrist, and the flesh that once surrounded the bone has been scoured clean, leaving only the stark white bones behind. Despite the lack of muscle and skin, however, the bones of your left hand have fused together so that the bones don't fall apart. The pain of having your hand separated from you was almost more than you could bear, and it left lingering blackened scars on your wrists and arm. To make matters worse, you notice that your flesh is healed slowly and poorly from the wound. If Ignis were to attack you with a rage, he might be able to muster enough heat and flames that recovering would be difficult, perhaps even destroy you? The thought doesn't please you. Ignis has hinted that this charred remain of your hand somehow holds a fraction of his infernal power now passed on to you. To invoke its power, you must slice off your hand again, place the skeletal hand there, and let the flesh heal over it. When this occurs, the traces of Ignis that remain upon the charred bones will kindle a portion of his... Ooh. The Fiend's Tongue, which I'm not sure what to do with. Lots of inventory space now that we got a 5th dude. And Will was hoping we got more people, so there you go. Actually, let's see what we got here. I got a lot of chromatic orbs, but I think... Nope, Magic Missile. Magic Missile's a good one. What do we got here? Ignis's Terror. All non-undead creatures, if they fail a saving throw, -1. Or Infernal Orb. One to 6 with a +3 to hit. As opposed to... You know what? I think I like Ice Knife. What about the Finger? Oh shit, did I still have another spell? Ignis's Charm. Oh yep, this is my finger. It looks like a charcoal charm. This is your charred right index finger. The tip has been snapped off, and the flesh that once surrounded the bone has been turned to ash. It was but a touch from Ignis, but it was enough to leave lingering blackened scars on your hand. To make matters worse, you notice that your flesh is healed slowly and poorly from the wound. To invoke the power of this, you must slice off your finger again. Place it on the stump. Yeah, no shit. There it is. Seeking Flames. The Seeking Flames grant all enemy targets in a 50-foot radius -1 to attacks. Holy shit. Grab one of those. Alright. He will come in handy. Actually, I think he's evil. I am neutral good. He is lawful neutral. Chaotic neutral. Chaotic good. Oh, they're all neutral.
I'm gone.
Look at this fucking Silver Surfer dude. Whoa. I'm sure that doesn't scare people as we walk down the streets. Oh, who's that? It's that zombie dude with the floating skull. The guys whose sword is controlled by his thoughts. That thief with the tail. And Johnny Flamon. He's chaotic and neutral. This is the alignment of lunatics, madmen, and impulsive characters. Maybe I spoke to him a certain way and that changed his alignment. Like I didn't argue with him while he cut me up.
All right.
Because you made it sound like he'd join evil. So the clerk's ward is the upper ward. Interchangeable names. Not in a rush to get my dick sucked. Let's just go to the fest hall. So one more person. We have a full party. I wonder if it's only the 6 characters or if there's leftovers. Splinter from Ninja Turtles. This towering man's golden skin sparkles slightly, as if it were metallic. Whether it's his actual flesh or merely painted on, you can't tell. He regards you coolly as you approach, giving a respectful bow as you draw near. Welcome to the Civic Fest Hall, traveler. We are Splinter, doorman to the Fest Hall, and Priest King of How may we help you? Despite his humble offer of aid, his voice is powerful and commanding, a deep and rumbling sound that resonates throughout the chamber. How can you help me? We do many things in this fine hall, traveler. We answer questions guests might have regarding it or its inhabitants. We direct both visitors and members of the Society of Sensation alike to the sensoriums or lecture halls. We also accept new members into the Society. Lastly, it is through us that purchases from the Society's vaults are made, spells, items, and such. I would buy something from the Sensate vaults? You must be a member. Well, fuck you. In order to join the Society of Sensation, one must be willing and prepared to share their own experiences. 5 are required, 1 from each of the senses. Alternatively, one may contribute a single experience that has strong elements from all 5 senses. These must either be new sensations or improvements upon our current stock. Should we find them acceptable, they will be placed into sensory stones and you, having become a sensate, will be taught the sensory touch. It will allow you to draw others' wounds onto yourself, healing them by accepting their suffering. Isn't that Blood Bridge? That's probably a skill. Blood Bridge is a spell. I'm ready. What smell or experience involving it would you offer us? Actually, I'd like to contribute 1 experience that involves all 5 senses. I woke up, not knowing where I was, on a cold, blood-slicked iron slab in the bowels of the mortuary, a place where only the dustmen of the corpses in their... That would be a unique experience. Go on. This has to be a fucking wisdom. Look at this. Look at all these letters. My entire body reeked of embalming fluid, but even the smell of that was not enough to match the coppery scent of gore around me. Dozens of bodies lie on countless bloody slabs like the one I rose from, all in the process of being gutted, flayed, and the like by nightmarish clockwork devices for unknown reasons. The only sounds were the squeals of labored metal and the unsteady tread of undead workers as they pushed the slabs about the mortuary on rusted iron tracks. A disturbing experience. And I even left out the part about the chattering skull that flew at me as soon as I was upright. Will it suffice, Splinter? Yes. We shall go to an empty stone now to record your experience. You'll then be granted access to those privileges allowed only to members of the Society of Sensation, as well as taught the sensory touch. Okay. Ba-ba-ba-bum. 10,000 there. We welcome you into the Society of Sensation, traveler. May further journeys and experiences pave your road to the great truths of the multiverse. Great, let's buy some stuff. Boop. I scroll. Power word blind. That's level 8. That's stronger than Cloud Kill. The spell blinds up to 100 hit points of creatures within 15 feet of you. Oh, well, the target. The blindness spreads outwards from the center, affecting creatures with the lowest HP totals first. Those with more than 100 hit points are not affected. The spell effect's duration depends on the number of HP affected. If 25 or fewer HP are affected, then the blindness lasts for 160 to 400 seconds. If 26 to 50 HP are affected, the blindness lasts for 80 to 200 seconds. 16 to 40, still fucking incredible. An individual creature can't be partially affected unless... I could maybe use that on an Ashibi. I'm looking for this hag. Can you help me? I had another question. Is there anyone here who might know about Ravel Puzzlewell? Splinter closes his eyes and thinks briefly. We'd recommend that you speak to a wizard by the name of Quell. Quell's always somewhere in the fest hall, most often in the private sensorium. Show me.
All right.
How is this private? There you are. This older man is chewing on something, muttering softly to himself. After a moment, there is a crack as he crunches down on the object in his mouth, then swallows it. His bushy, brassy white eyebrows furrow for a moment, rise, and then furrow again. What up? Without so much as looking at you, the man reaches into his tunic, pulls out a puce-colored ball, regards it curiously for a moment, then pops it into his mouth. Hello? The man frowns and waves you away, then nods to himself thoughtfully as he savors the flavor of whatever he's put into his mouth. I have some questions. The man smirks, bites his thumb at you, then abruptly pauses. His cheeks swelling with a violent gag, he spits up a large black fly which begins to buzz around the chamber. Minerosian candies be damned, he cries, shaking his fist at the insect. He whirls on you. What? What do you know of Ravel Puzzlewell? He pops a small red candy in his mouth. Do you always traipse about molesting puissant mages with your ignorant prattle? Babbling, blathering, chittering, chattering. The candy shoots from his mouth on chattering, flying into a high arc to land on the floor with a wet plip. He stares at it sadly. I'm sorry about your candy. It was so tasty, too, he mules. He suddenly looks up, snarling, Sorry, as you should be, you piking dung beetle. Mages deserve respect, and bashers like you should know their proper place. I'm a mage. He begins to jump up and down. Proper place, proper place. Calm the fuck down. I care not, you yeasty beef-witted pignut. His eyes bulge out and he jabs his finger at you. Now off with you, off with you. And do not return without being prepared to show the proper respect. Come bearing tribute, a gift. He suddenly draws close and whispers from the side of his mouth. Candies of chocolate would be nice, but nothing common, mind you. Bring something exotic. Now be gone. It's probably candy at the curiosity shop. I'll look around.
My journal.
Yeah, just flail around, Ignis. That'll make everybody more comfortable. Maybe Splinter can find some candy for us. Can you help me? What lectures are there to attend? The Fest Hall's current speakers include Death's Advocate, who speaks of death and what follows it, Geisus the Crooked, who speaks of the Blood War, and Three Planes Aligned, who speaks of the power of alignment and belief. Assuming they are currently here and well, we could direct you to one of their lectures at any time. Well, sure. Travel through the middle door on the eastern wall, and the door beyond that as well. Continue straight down the hallway, and you'll find yourself in, and enter the second door on the north side. All right, well, I'm not actually doing that. I thought you were just going to teleport me there. Already gave you that dope memory donation.
All right.
I wonder if Dakan wants to talk again after I kind of fucked up his belief system. There's things I'd like to know. Can we talk some more about your teachings? I've read The Circle. Let's talk about it. I'm still thinking over what I read. Never mind. Okay. He's not ready for another word battle. You there. I need some candy. I can keep reading The Circle? Oh. Here to buy something? Yes, I am. Exotic items? Front of the store. Ooh, this might be what we need. Chocolate Quasit. You examine a twisted little imp-like creature sculpted out of pure milk chocolate. Looks delicious, does it not? Imported from the lower plains. These are rare, you know, and quite prized by lovers of chocolate and confections. It's a real Quesset, a fiendish familiar, polymorphed into chocolate by powerful sorcery. 199. I think I had that much. Copper gets absorbed into his hand. Later, Gator. I can keep reading this circle.
I hear your words.
Examine the plate. See if you can puzzle out any new combinations. I do have 22 wisdom. As you examine the rings of the second circle, you find a strange link in the plate that mentions the laboring of the Gith people to achieve the rising. A new circle emerges from the link and you unlock it. Pulling the plate forth so you can... Really? The second one. Because wasn't it the second and the fourth rings were the ones that didn't make sense? They conflicted with each other. Read the symbols. Know that the rising of the people against the Illithid was a thing built upon many turnings. Many were the people who lived and died under the Time's blade while the rising was shaped. The rising was shaped upon a slow foundation. Steel was gathered so that it might mark Illithid flesh. A means of knowing the movements of the Illithids was established, at first weak and confused, then stronger, like a child finding its voice. When the movements were known, then the Illithids were observed, and observing them, their ways of the mind were known. When the ways of the Illithid were known, many of the people were gathered and taught in secret the means to shield their minds, and the way to harness their will as weapons. They were taught the scripture of steel, and most importantly, they were given the knowing of freedom. These things were not learned quickly. The knowing of much of the ways was slow, and in all these things, time's weight fell upon all, from the knowing of one's reflection in a steel blade, to the knowing of submerging the will, to the knowing of seeing itself. All these things and more the people built upon. In time, they came to know the whole. Interesting. The seventh circle? The rising, yep, okay. Slide the plates closed. Let's talk about that.
What is your will?
I've read it. There was a seventh circle. It spoke of the building of the rebellion. What does the seventh circle speak of? It speaks of time as an ally, not as an enemy. It says that patience can sharpen even the smallest of efforts into a weapon that can strike the heart of an empire. Your victories may be small, but over time, a greater victory may be achieved. Thank God I'm wise. He is silent for a moment. Will you make this circle known for me? Take the unbroken circle of Zerthamin and unlock the seventh circle for him. Only 5,000. As you take the circle and twist the links, 2 plates slide from the interior and into your hands. You have no idea where they came from, but the unbroken circle still seems intact. The seventh circle remains. There are 2 plates here. Perhaps we should both study them, you and I? He is silent for a moment. There is much you have come to know of the circle, and your knowing carries a greater weight than mine. He matches your gaze. Know that your path is mine, and it shall come to pass that as you knew the way of Zerthamin from me, I shall know the way of Zerthamin from you. Okay. The seventh teaches me Missile of Patience. Neat. Range? Duration? Speed? Area of effect? Usable only by mages, specifically Decon and myself. Know that the rising of blah 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 blah. Okay, let's copy it. Where the hell is it? Submerge the will. Where the fuck? Missile of Patience. Could this spell be any more useless? Cried Elnick, Mage of Amnar. The bane of mages everywhere. Could this be a practical joke of an archmage or a living disproof of the old prime material axiom that good things come to those who wait? Doesn't do anything, apparently. Or maybe it takes a long time to cast. Well, we've got some reading to do. The Mysterious Circle. Oh, that's weird. It just didn't give him. Alright, try it again. Up. As you examine the rings of the 7 circles of Zerthamin, you suddenly become aware of a pattern in the way the links are formed. You hook your fingers into the sides of the circle and unlock a hidden segment. pulling the plate forth so you can study it. Read the symbols. Know that a mind divided divides the man. The will in the hand must be as one. In knowing the self, one becomes strong. Know that if you know a course of action to be true in your heart, do not betray it because the path leads to hardship. Know that without suffering, the rising would have never been, and the people would never have come to know themselves. Know that there is nothing in all the worlds that can stand against unity. When all know a single purpose, when all hands are guided by one will, and all act with the same intent, the planes themselves may be moved. A divided mind is one that does not know itself. When it's divided, it cleaves the body in two. When one has a single purpose, the body is strengthened. In knowing the self, grow strong. Hey, Fat Pep. Let's tell Dekan.
What is your will?
There are things I would know. I've read this circle. There was an 8th circle. It spoke of the division of the mind and the importance of focus. He falls silent. When he speaks again, his tone is quiet, almost reverent. What does the 8th circle speak of? It speaks of focus and discipline, about how not knowing oneself can physically divide the man. It also speaks of the weakness that division causes. It seems to me that it tells one to not only know themselves and take strength from that, but that your focus can reveal weaknesses in your enemies. Will you make this circle known to me? You fucking know it, brother. Oh, Nelly. I think that's 10,000 each. Hey, Ray. As you take the circle and twist the links, 2 more plates slide from the interior and into your hand. As with the 7th circle, you have no idea where they came from. There's 2 plates here. I think when you know the 8th circle, perhaps then you will know Zerthamin's heart when he made the pronouncement of 2 skies. His words were not those of the Illithids, but of the people. Dekan stares at the plates, his eyes flickering over the geometries upon them, then looks up and matches your gaze. His blade bends and shifts until the shimmering you noticed before has become a silver glow. He seems stronger somehow.
In knowing the teachings of Zerthamon, I have become stronger.
Wowie. +2 Constitution in Dungeons and Dragons? Know that when death comes for you, know that I shall meet its blade with mine. Know that when all dies around you, know I shall live for your sake. When we die, Dekan, it shall be the same death. It shall be the pronouncement of 2 deaths as one.
In knowing the teachings of Zerthamon, I have
Okay.
become stronger.
I thought we were just in a book club, but now we've got some sort of Romance of the Three Kingdoms blood oath going on here. Also, congratulations on your level, Dekan. 4 hit points. Saving throws have improved. Spell memorization has improved. 67 hit points. He's now our strongest character. Level 6 fighter, level 6 mage. Good work. Good work. Balance in all things. What kind of level 3s do I have? I feel like I gotta pick him some level 3s up. Oh, yeah, wow. Ball Lightning, Elysium's Tears. These are great spells that he should know. We're poor, though, because we had to buy that fanciful chocolate.
Your will be done.
What does his wacky... I don't know if his weapon got stronger. 2 to 9 +1 AC. The Chained Blade. Let's see if it's updated the tooltip. Bum, 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 bum. I mean, for a while I thought Mort was pretty cool because of the taunt, but Dekan's really been cleaning it up with the backstory. Take me to the private sensorium. Oh, I forgot to read the disc, didn't I? The private what is this? There are 2. The public sensorium, where visitors may use the sensory stones for anywhere between 10 and 50 commons, and the private sensorium, where only members of the society and sensation are allowed. You can reach neither of them yourself. We must take you there. Private.
I'm gone.
I got some chocolate for you, fella. A little Kinder Surprise. I brought you some imported chocolate as a gift. Oh? His demeanor changes in an instant. Very kind of you, very gentlemanly. May I see it? Yes. He takes it from your hands. Oh, quite rare these are, and most delectable. He bites off a large piece and tucks what's left into his tunic. I had some questions about Ravel Puzzlewell. He frowns at you, licking the last of the chocolate off his fingers. Who told you to bother me with inane questions? Come now, what is it that you wish to bother me with, or be gone? He fishes a malt ball from his sleeve and eats it. Can I have some? Now, what do you know of Ravel Puzzlewell? At the mention of her name, he swallows the candies he's been sucking on with a loud gulp, wincing in pain. What to tell? Why tell it all? Such things are best left in dusty books and in the attics of old men's minds. Evil, evil. Such a name, and such dark tales swarm about it like flies on a corpse. I do need you to tell me. He rolls his eyes, plopping another candy into his mouth. She's a night hag, my boy, who came to Sigil. All evil and cackles she was, alive with her shadow magic, ready to butt heads with the Lady of Pain. Barmy old hag, only succeeding in getting herself mazed. She's likely dead now. A lot of these words are made up. Shadow magic? Yes. He seems uneasy about speaking of her. Ravel dabbled, no, not dabbled, but excelled in all schools of magic. She knew shadow magics of illusion and shadow substance, shadows, residues of dead things. How might I find her? Why would you ask such a thing? Are you mad? What could you possibly want? She knows something of my past. Doubtful. She was mazed many centuries ago. Gone. Penned in the dead book she is. And even if she were somehow still clutching to life with her black and bloody talons, what could she possibly know about you? If she wasn't the spitting image of cackling evil, that is, and was even willing to help you, well, let's hope she is. By Alessia's 6 teats and her swollen tummy, what a flickering candle of hope hurled into the howling winds of pandemonium that is. Flicker, flicker, whoosh. Don't be any more the fool than you need be. I need to fucking find her. So if she's dead, as she most likely is, then what's your plan, may I ask? You have everything all figured out, do you? Quell's just blowing words out of his pits. Nonsense, nothing. What do you plan to do if she's in the dead book? I can talk to dead people, can't I? What do you think I should do? The first brilliant question you've asked. Me? I think you should give up this clueless idea of entering mazes and chatting with night hags and lope back into whatever crypt you crawled out of. Makes far more sense than fishing for the lady's anger, it does. Can you tell me how to get to her maze? Lunatic, madman, Adelkov. Have you not listened to a word I've said? She's imprisoned in an interdimensional maze for trying to best the Lady of Pain. That means she's at least 10 times as barmy as you, and at least 100 times more powerful. She's also most likely dead, and thrice dead, and if by some happenstance she isn't, she'll make you dead. How the fuck do I get there? Quell goes quiet, chewing on his lip. After a moment, he fishes around in his tunic for a mint, then plops it into his mouth. You're serious? Serious now? Why so serious, so Baitor bent, so mule stubborn? Well, born clueless, die clueless.
Updated my journal.
All mazes have portals. This much I know to be true. A way in, a way out. This is how the lady fashions them. I do not know the portal, its location, or even its form, but I am told its key is a piece of Ravel. A piece of... She's in a... But then you'll have to make do. Find something that has Ravel's taint in it, mayhap. That's all I know. All. Bother me no more about it. If you want to go pestering someone about something like that, go to the brothel of slating intellectual lust. One of the ladies there is bound to have met someone or know something that'll help. Okay.
Updated my journal.
Updated my journal. Get out of this, music's a little noisy in there.
Done.
What was that last circle? The 8th circle. Zerthaman's focus. Know that a mind divided divides the man. This was just a circle. Zerthaman's focus is only a level 3 spell. This enchantment helps the target remember Zerthaman's teachings on the ways to channel one's mental and physical focus. When cast, the recipient's chances for a critical attack are raised for 5 seconds per level. That's not too bad. I mean, it is for me, because I'm a wizard, but it's great for him. In fact, I'll probably swap out balance and all things. Yeah, that's just damage reflect. I don't want him to get hit in the first place. So, let's make sure there's nothing else hiding in that thing. You examine the circle carefully, studying the links and trying new patterns, but no new circle reveal. Okay, good. Think I'm smart enough to have found one. I should prepare before going to the maze. I imagine the maze is a one-way trip if I'm not careful. I should go to the Sensorium, but it was just a little loud in there. I wanted to take a break. I have 1 Cloud Kill pipe left, but I also know how to cast Cloud Kill. I need to find a place to sleep. I think the Sensorium lets me sleep there. All right. He doesn't get that many spells, but I think I have like artifacts and tattoos that are giving me all these slots, right? Okay. Yeah, let's just go back in. Let's just use some stones. If I can cast it now, why not pawn the pipe for planar bucks? I'm worried I might fight something that can resist it, so that'd give me a second chance to cast it. But you're right, I could get some dollary dues. I need to go to a private sensorium.
Done.
Give this... What we got here? The inscription around the base of the sensory stone indicates it holds the experience week-long hunting trek across the forests of Arbria. Okay. You're standing in a circle of white tents deep in the woods. Somewhere. The trees around you are by far the largest you've ever seen. Suddenly, though, there's an odd prickling sensation at the back of your skull. Your surroundings melt into a colorless smear, then slowly resolve into what looks like the interior of a large gray sphere. Across from you stands a figure almost identical to yourself. His eyes flash in the half-darkness. I knew you'd come. Hello? Oh, greetings, greetings. So good to see you, he sneers. I bid your murderous tongue to be silent. That's right, murderous. Your pretend innocence is laughable. Hello? Oh, you don't know? Didn't all those filthy, lying, thrice-be-damned journals tell you who I am? Those journals that were so conveniently left for me when I awoke? Those journals that called me an incarnation? Burned them all, I did. All that I found. They spoke lies, 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 and nothing more. Filth about a man who forgets himself, other incarnations, or preserving their experiences in writing so later lives could benefit. Thieves! It's my life, mine. You want to steal my body, and you won't have it. So you're one of my earlier incarnations? He crosses his arms and looks away. If you'd put stock in such trash, yes. What did these lying journals say? They spoke lies, 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 and nothing more. Where am I? Oh, this? Just a little trap is all. I realized that killing you body thieves might not be enough. I might have to trap you, ensnare you for eternity. You may have realized by now that there's no way out of this sensory stone. Your mind's locked here. And you'll note the rather sparse surroundings I have left for you, all to help the madness set in. Good and quick while your flesh rots away. He chuckles evilly. I have some questions. Your earlier incarnation crosses his arms and looks away indignantly. Save for a few tufts of hair on his head, he's identical to you. Even his arms have most of the tattoos yours do. Did you put those tattoos on? No. That one incarnation, that practical one did. I've tried to burn them off, but the skin regenerates with the tattoos still on them. I've tried to tear them off, stain them with acid. I hate them. What did he say? His eyes grow wild. Stop that. Stop reading me. He tries to cover himself with his arms, turning away from you. I'm going to keep doing it. The figure's eyes grow even wider. Stop. Stop now. I'm warning you. He turns away from huddling up to cover more of his body. You see on his back the list of tattooed warnings that Mort once read to you at the mortuary. There is, however, one line at the bottom that Mort has neglected read aloud. Don't trust this skull. You can't threaten me. You're recorded memory. I'll just keep reading them until you let me out of here. He howls like a madman, thrashing wildly, clawing at his arms and frothing in the mouth. Out, 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 out. And like that, everything ends. You find yourself standing in the sensorium once more, slightly befuddled, but quite unharmed. Wacky. This one says, The Messenger. As you touch the stone, its green exterior sharpens, clashing, its brightness becoming more than you can bear, so much that you close your eyes to shut it out. Submerge into the experience. As you close your eyes, you feel the skin along your arms become numb, as if all sensation is being bled from them. Tired, so tired. You try and blink, yet the darkness remains. Your lids feel soft and sluggish, unresponsive. You're sitting on what feels to be a dirt floor, and around you is the smell of coppery blood and herbs? Why are you here? You came to what? Your memory fails you, but you feel a growing panic beginning to well up within you. Try and get your bearings. Awake now, are you? A questioning all done? The voice is an old woman's, thick and scratchy, as if it's trying to force its way past a thick layer of dust. Try as you might, you cannot open your eyes and see the woman, but you feel a shiver of fear. Something is wrong, terribly wrong. You try to respond, but all you can manage is a ragged croak. You can't feel your tongue. And your eyes? What's wrong with your eyes? Now a see me you did, a spoke you didn't poorly, so the price have you paid? The crone sounds amused, then her tone drops sharply. No more of your questions, now you'll listen. And you'll remember my words, for in minding me you shall live, she hisses. Not if you hear me, or another bit I shall take. Okay. Remember me, traveler. Remember me to a stone, one of the pretty glimmers in your festive hall. Use it like a cup, pour what you feel into it, and know this. Remember me to a man who wears a skin of scars and tattoos, who seeks memories but has misplaced them. If smart he is, he'll know the knowing of me. Tell him to find me, or if I'm not to be found, tell him to come to the Glimmerstone, and we shall speak, my precious man and I. The woman pauses, then hisses again. Nod if you hear me, you ragged thing, nod. Pretty polite to a listen so long. When he comes to the Glimmerstone, tell the man to speak my name, and your pain shall not have been in vain. The crone's voice trails off, as if distracted. You try to speak again, but there's only a sick gurgling noise. What happened? Who is this person? Why are you? And you begin to feel yourself slip into unconsciousness. Ravel, it is I.
Updated my journal.
Hello? My precious man. There's this slow shuffling of feet, and you feel a sharp pinprick in your left eye. You gasp, and suddenly, barely, you can see with your one and only eye. You lie in a gray hut upon a dirty floor where blood, your bright red blood, has seeped into the surrounding gray dust. Your arms are gone. Your legs have been hacked off at the knees, yet you feel numbed, and there's no pain, only fear. There's someone above you, someone looking down on you. Hello? As you look up through your bloody blurred vision, you see a horrid bluish-gray face, twinning with yellow-blue. Is that the lady in the shop? Ravel is pleased, wondering if this messenger would make it, for weak he was when his bits were placed on my plate. She holds up a talon in front of you, and impaled on the tip of it is an eyeball, the right one. Yet to the festive hall he returned, it seems, and our time two together has he shared. And now you have come. Success! Could we talk? The crone shakes her head, your blurred vision seeing three images at once. Her grayish hair is like brambles, drifting down her shoulders. No, only time for answers does Ravel have, and she has no time to waste with your guess questions. Know this, and in knowing grow strong. You must find me, my precious man. How?
Updated my journal.
I am beyond knowing, in a lady's place. No, and listen to Ravel, for there is much you must do to find me. Three things you must do. Find the door, know the key, and then unlock the key. The door is not a finished thing, at least when last I gazed upon it, but in the passing of time, perhaps now well wrought it is. Go to the place of forges and steel, that's the marketplace. Knowing there, you will find the door that takes one to me. I know that the key is a piece of you, but I don't know how to find it. The key is of me, is it not? Not? The crone hisses. No picture it is, no tale, no stone, but the key is something of me, a labor of my own flesh and blood. Seek it, lives it does. That's the most important clue, and you were super vague about it. How do I unlock the key? Knowing the key is not enough, so Ravel thinks. Knowing it and unlocking it. These two tasks that must be joined, for at times, a thing knows not its nature. But you're no stranger to that. She cackles, a long, hideous cry that fills your ears with pain. Is it the cube, perhaps? I don't have money for the cube. Well, we could sell our cloud, kill Bong. What I don't... are we talking? Of stones and experiences and telling will Ravel do, but not the telling of how she speaks to you now. She speaks soothingly. Many are the branchings and twistings of Ravel, and many are their secrets. I need you, and I need you knowing this. Okay. Return. I will give what help I can. Ravel gives a final smile, a horrible, yellow-fanged grin. A blackish tongue darts from her lips and lingers at the edge, teasing. But in the end, only the one question remains. What? Only one question, this I ask. Her eyes blaze like fires, the red light turning her face blood red. What can change the nature of a man? At the question, you feel a tremor pass through like thunder, and you feel yourself burn. Okay, see ya. Huh. Your vision clears until you're standing once again before the hideously green stone. It looks different than before, more horrid somehow. But I can't take the stone. One last little VR experience. The base of this aquatic blue stone has been sculpted so it appears to have melted into the pedestal it rests upon. A stream of perfect azure tears drip down the sides, framing the inscription beneath the pedestal. Longing. As you place your hands upon the stone, its surface ripples beneath your touch. A chill washes over your arms, like plunging your hands into a mountain stream. Okay. As you close your eyes, you blink and reopen them. Your eyes are brimming with tears, and you're overcome with a terrible sensation of drowning. As the sensation rolls through you, there is a stirring in your breast, a hunger, poisonous like a serpent, biting into your heart. Until you feel as if your breast will explode. You want desperately to steady yourself, focus, but all that comes to your eye is tears. Wipe them away. You raise your hand to wipe away your tears. Your hands are soft, delicate woman's hands. They brush the stray tears from your cheek, and you cup them in your hands, each of the tears like jewels shimmering in the lights. Turn to examine the lights? The lights are cast by candle globes that drift through your sanctuary. You've come to this place to gather your thoughts, to reflect on the past with an eye toward the future, to cleanse the mind before the coming journey, yet you cannot concentrate. Your thoughts remain in the present, trapped here by the terrible feeling that rods in your breast. What did he mean? You close your eyes, but his words echo in your mind 100, 1,000 times. Will he ever return? The sound is a whisper, an echo. Only you, only you. Yet you hesitated at the brink of time's door, and he must have thought you afraid to go, but you were not. You were afraid to stay, and the fear. The serpent writhes in your breast again, its fangs biting into your heart, filling it to bursting with its poison. The tears come again, running down your cheeks in streams, his words echoing. Your eyes snap open. It's his voice. You whirl and you gasp. He stands, powerful in the shadows, and he strides into the light of the drifting candled globes. And you feel the serpent writhing and dying. He returned. His face, stern but somewhere in those features, you can almost see his pleasure at seeing you. After all, he returned for, only you can help me, Dayanara. But it was wrong for me to ask you for your help. You speak, Dayanara, yet you, it is you, gray-skinned like a statue, striding from the light. Are you that scarred? Your body looks like it's been bathed in knife blades. The wounds, the tattoos, horrible, yet you see through Dayanara's eyes. And she sees. How can she see you in such a way? She puts a cloak over your features, yet sees you in such light, such terrible longing light for... How can she feel such? Try to refocus. You feel your vision tearing, doubling until you're that man striding from the light. It is you, but not you. You feel yourself being torn. It's Dayanara's experience, but at the same time, it's also yours. I asked too much of you to accompany me, Dayanara. I have no right to place you in such danger for my sake. It's your words, but they are a surgeon's words, chosen with cold skill without a trace of emotion. With every word, you feel yourself sneering inside, knowing what the stricken girl will see next through her longing-stained eyes, and who? Are you that person? That man twisting her with your words, not knowing how powerful they are to her? Like bolts from a ballista, piercing her breast. Her, yet she sees only relief at your return. How can she feel and not know you mean to... I've come to ask for your forgiveness. Your vision tears again, doubling and bleeding until you're facing yourself again, trying desperately to speak, to warn Dayanara that this is not a man, but a creature that kills for his own needs. He doesn't care about you, Dayanara. You're a tool to him. A tool he needs to, but Dayanara speaks and you can't stop her. I'd place myself in 1,000 days. Embrace eternity for you, my love. I'm not afraid. Listen to me. I'll accompany you. Though the planes themselves should bar the way. You feel yourself shattering, relief and satisfaction. His satisfaction at her words, knowing she would say them, always knowing. And her admission of love is like a slamming of a portcullis across your heart, trapped. She is yours, but you must be certain, so you drive the nail home. The way is dangerous. You'll have to be strong, far stronger than you are now. Swimming through her mind, relief, the wave of relief, the end of longing, yet longing for him more at his words, not noticing his manipulations. All you need to be is strong, and his path shall be as one with yours. Your thoughts are like fires, for you can be strong, stronger than he knows. You know no fear. You would die for him. I can be strong, my love, I will. Her words slide off him like water, The serpent in her breast, the one piercing her heart with its poison, has been replaced by the serpent in the flesh. She sees nothing of this, and his next words are planned carefully. I can't say if we'll succeed, Dianara, but I'll do my best to protect you, and I'll expect nothing less the same from you. You may be required to make some sacrifices. At that final terrible word, you feel yourself being torn apart. He means her harm. He means you harm, for you are her. And he means to hurt her, yet you need her to be harmed. And you want to scream at her that she's in danger. Run, Dianara, for his eyes unmake all things. And, of course, I'll totally do it, because we're in a time machine, Stone. You, she, her. You speak the words, and in it, you feel yourself dying inside. You're a spectator, and you've watched a woman die, for the words are a death sentence, yet still she speaks, unheeding, uncaring. I left a legacy in my father's keeping. Ask for the 6th, the 3rd, the K, and the S. In it, I bequeath everything to you. It's not much, but with it I left. You, him. A wave of irritation washes over you. You clench your teeth to prevent the irritation from crossing your features. Must she always continue to prattle, even when you do not prompt her? Must she? But no. Keep the irritation aside. Only a trace slips out. Come now, I cannot die, Dianara. There's no need for such foolishness. Her, you. She's overcome with fear. Fear that revolts you. And the fear that wells up inside her. You, as you watch him frown, and you hasten to correct him. He must know the reasons and know the wisdom behind them, so he's impressed with your planning. Speak before he turns away. I know I act foolishly, my love. But you said yourself that you can forget things if you're badly hurt. There are things in the legacy that can help you remember should you forget yourself. Updated my journal. You coldly regard her through your eyes, tracing your gaze along her furrowed brow, wrinkled with worried desperation. She's acted as you expected, yet there's something in what she says. Perhaps, yet I hope nothing in this legacy is of value. I don't want you to leave any things here in some safe that could be of use to us on our journey. Her illusion is shattered just for a moment. You watch, silent, as the emotion falls to the ground, splintering like silvered glass, of some use. Such a casual statement, yet even Dianara sees, and you hope just for a moment. You hope that she sees him for what he is, a serpent. The serpent. And your hope dies as her eyes, the emotion is rebuilt. The sliver's being drawn from the ground, the illusion rebuilt, but the slight sliver of pain remains. He thinks you've done something foolish, yet you did it for him. You must make amends, but how? You must convince him the legacy is unimportant, but it isn't. It's everything. The legacy, my love, it has just a few things to help you remember. The scythe of words falls on Dianara, so quick, so sharp. You cannot follow its arcing path. A legacy? The things you do, Dianara, such romantic gestures. No matter. She, you, Dianara, you've driven him away again, just like you did the night before. You feel the serpent stirring again, reborn, curling around your heart. There's the softest of hisses, yet he does not hear. Would you wish to leave a legacy, my love, for yourself or for anyone you would want to? It might help you remember if you left something for yourself, or for the ones you loved. The word scythe falls again, terrible and swift, yet this time the illusion holds, and the serpent is cloaked. The serpent is cunning, and it shall not reveal itself until it strikes. A legacy for myself? Not likely. The things I would leave for myself would not be safe in some advocate's office, Dianara. But enough of this. I must leave. He's leaving. You must make him remain, and the experience swirls around you, terrible. The spiraling towards the final scene, the question she wants to ask. Don't ask it, Dianara. Don't ask it. Be silent. Before you go, his anger, his irritation. What now, girl? What now, you mewling banshee? Before I go? It looks like I'm in no danger of that. Come, can't these questions wait for the morn? There's much. She's desperate, drowning. Say it. Do you want me to come with you? The rush of emotion dies in your mind. This is the end. The words you're about to speak are true, but the truth is not the truth she sees. There are no lies, only cold calculations. Of course he wants you to come with him, Dianara. You understand it clearly, too, clearly. He has invested too much in the poor girl to let her go. Of course, Dianara. I would not have asked you to come with me if I didn't want your company. You know how I feel about you. There's a cold silence in his mind, then a hissing of a thought, a response sharp and deadly like a dagger blade. The lie comes swiftly, unburdened by emotion. I love you. And you want to scream as you feel the lie wash over like a radiance, but it is a shadow of truth, a serpent's kiss. And he means you harm, and she can't see you. Want to call out, but she's crying with joy even as... I hope this memory stone isn't a memory of me having sex with myself. That'd be weird. The emotion washes over you like you're drowning. Drowning. Ooh. Anna's watching you, terrified. She looks like she wants to step forward to help, but she's paralyzed. Are you all right? I'm fine. I think I just banged myself. Anna's silent, staring at you, hypnotized. Your blood drips upon the floor, each tear splattering into a crimson circle as it strikes the flagstones of the sensorium. What did you see on the fiend stone? Longing. Anna frowns, confused, then stares daggers at the sensory stone as if she's thinking about shattering it. I'm longing to break that stone. I'm gonna tear it up, so just a moment. Don't fucking touch it. As much as you want to hurl the memory of the experience from you, you hold it fast. Because you know it's important to remember it. It was you in that experience. It was Dayanara's experience. But because it was you, your memories flooded you, and you could feel both sides at once. Who were you? Who was that shade of you? Sounded like a dick. A dick that really needed people in his party. Nick said we can sleep here. How can you help me? Can I sleep here? Yes, there are lodgings within the fest hall. Should you wish to visit them, walk eastwards. Okay, that's easy.
All right.
A clerk for sleeping. Three planes aligned. All right, this is a lecture hall. I'm pretty sure Farod's dead. There was a cutscene where he got attacked by shadows. Is it you? Are you the clerk? This man looks like a bitter, cantankerous old codger. His mouth is twisted into a frown that becomes even more severe as he notices you coming this way. Merriman my name may be, but Mary, I'm not. Off with you, young one. No time for the likes of you. He goes into a fit of coughing from the exertion of shooing you away so loudly. Okay, fuck you. Mage in training. Okay, well, good luck with that. Oh, it keeps going.
Done.
There we go. Fest hall room clerk. This attractive young woman smiles pleasantly. Greetings, sir. She closes her eyes and flips through a large ledger, stopping at what seems to be a random page and opening her eyes. Ah, here's your room key. She hands you a small key. The easternmost chamber's been waiting quite some time for your return. Would you like to rest now? Oh, yeah, well, it's apparent that I've been here before, because the sensory stones were me. Waiting for my return? The clerk gives you a strange look. My ledger indicates that this is your key, sir, and has been for a good long time. If that's not so, then perhaps I'm merely mistaken. Would you like to rest now? That'd be wonderful. The next time we hit a snag, I guess we can go see if Farod left anything.
Done.
This was really weird music. I'm kind of glad to get out of here. It's a little loud. We still gotta find a chunk of her. At the, supposedly there's a legacy of me at the ad. What the fuck is the problem here, guys? Doors closed. The advocate's house supposedly has my legacy, and then one of the hookers might know where to find a chunk of ravel.
All right.
These wrought iron bars seem to serve as decoration rather than security measure. Okay.
All right.
Advocate. This man is dressed in soft blue robes covered with intricate designs. Despite their opulence, however, the robes look wrinkled and worn. You place the man's age somewhere between middle age and early 60s. The warrior lines make an exact determination difficult. As you enter, the man turns slowly towards you. As he does, you're suddenly struck with the terrible sense that you know this man from the stone, yes. Greetings. The man squints as if trying to place you. Is there something that I can help you with? Who are you?
Updated my journal.
I am Iannis. Were you looking for me? I don't know. I am an advocate. These are my offices. His voice takes on an irritated edge. Do you seek counsel? If not, perhaps you'd best test your curiosity elsewhere. An advocate? What's that?
My journal.
Mort breaks in a whisper. He's saying he's a lawyer, a counselor, one of those Burks who rattle their bone boxes at the courts. His frown deepens. An advocate provides counsel, helps others navigate the labyrinths of Sigil's legal systems, arranges legacies for citizens to ensure that the property is divided as they choose upon death, defends those in Sigil's corpse who have been wrongly accused. Legacies? I've come to collect the legacy of a young woman. Indeed. Very well. Do you remember the legacy in question? 687 KS? That? His eyes widen as you name the legacy. My daughter's legacy? How do you... Oh, boy. Oof. Ooh. I mean, it is a legal matter. There's a sensory stone in the fest hall that held the legacy number. There is? But in which one? You must tell me. It is one of the sensate sensory stones. If you're not a sensate, you could not gain access. He thinks for a moment. I must find a way. Perhaps they'd make an exception for her father? I could speak to someone. I'm certain they'd make an exception in your case.
Updated my journal.
He looks relieved. If you could, I'd be most grateful. I'd like to know more about Dayanara. She was young. She had recently joined the Society of Sensation, the Sensates. Not an unpleasant faction, but she'd also met someone there. She followed him on a journey, and there she died. Her body... I was not even able to recover her body. I saw a woman by that name interred in the in the mortuary memorial hall. She'd become a ghost and claimed she knew me. It seems like a really, really dumb idea to let this guy, onto the fact that I was banging his daughter, but here we go.
Updated my journal.
What? What did you just say? Her ghost is in the mortuary. I talked to it. You spoke to her? He seems to become more confused by the moment. What distresses her? I wasn't able to make out what she's saying. She said that she loved me and that I had loved her, and that I had forsaken her. I see. Perhaps. He frowns and studies you. Are you the one she left Sigil with? The one who led her on the journey that killed her? I'm not certain. I think I may be that man, but I have forgotten much. You? You're the one. And you say you're forgotten? He draws himself up. He looks like he's squaring himself for a battle. You've forgotten? But the incident was not so long ago. How can this be? I have a strange condition. I lose myself. Sound like a fucking alcoholic. Sometimes I just black out and forget what I do. Anything you can tell me about yourself, myself, or your daughter would be invaluable. Countless liars have I known in my tenure in this city. He studies you intently. You don't strike me as one of them, at least on this matter. If you truly do not remember, then whatever befell you and my daughter in your journey must have left deep scars. Absolutely, it was not my fault. Absolutely. Then I ask your word on this. If your memory returns, and you discover what has happened to my daughter, return to me, so that my mind may at last be at rest on this. Vow I will do that. And then he just fucking pray I didn't kill her with chlamydia or something. Very well then. Now leave. I wish to be alone with my thoughts. Oops. I guess I don't get the legacy. Hookers are next.
Done.
Before we get up to our nuts and guts, though, I'm going to grab a drink. Sir, might I have a word with you? Sure. This slender young man approaches you wearing a somewhat worried expression. 1,000 pardons, sir, but I'm looking for a certain man, and I think you might be able to help me. How so? I'm a messenger, sir, who seeks a man it said cannot die. A scarred man, for whom death is nothing but the most trivial of annoyances. You match the admittedly vague description I was given, sir. That's me. Ah, he nods, then bows deeply to you. A message for you, then. Mistress Jolmy of the house Surma, a lady of high standing, has sent me. Mistress Jolmy would meet you in the Civic Fest Hall, where she would make a proposal, of which I know nothing to you. Should you choose to seek her out, she wears green silks trimmed with gold and has hair the color of blue steel. That is the extent of my message, sir. Okay, bye. I gotta go, bang smart hookers. Like I said, though...
I'm gone.
Oh, well, hello. Get a wing job when I get back. All right, let's see if we can learn anything from these ladies of the night, specifically this one. Before you is a stunning golden-haired woman, dressed in an azure and violet dress with 2 long, elegant wings draped across her shoulders. Like an angel's, but also like a demon's. Her name is Carlor. She is surveying the room with a slight smile. She's easily the most beautiful woman you've ever seen. Hello.
Well, traveler, how may I help you?
A voice? Well, I guess Farad has a voice, and I don't think he joins. Hey, Justin. The woman turns as you address her. She takes your measure, then nods slightly. You notice her eyes are azure, the exact same color as her dress. Well met, traveler. She reaches up to brush her back a stray lock of golden hair. How may I help you? How much for a blowy?
Updated my journal.
Or maybe she only does hand and mouth stuff. I'm called Fall from Grace. She studies you for a moment. You're new to Sigil, are you not? I suspect I've been here for quite some time, actually. Indeed? That's a long tale, perhaps longer than I know. I'm more interested in what this place is. This is the brothel of slating intellectual lusts. She studies you for a moment. I take it by your question that you did not intend to partake of this establishment. What kind of brothel is this? I established this brothel to give these lustful fevers that strike the mind more avenues of expression, rather than the simply carnal. Much pleasure can be had in conversation and engaging in the verbal arts with others. Oh yeah, suck on my jagon. Sounds dull. I assure you it is not. Tour the brothel, see for yourselves. So is this where's... There's no intercourse? What a fancy way. You're on a date with a girl. This is a date? There's no intercourse? Only of a psychological nature. Rest assured it's still quite stimulating. Some questions then. You're not human, I take it? She's one of the fiends, one of the succubi. A succubi that's not gonna suck me. She'll take your measure, then she'll take your soul to the lower planes, so she will. Your companion's correct. I'm a lesser Tanari, more specifically a succubus. I am afraid we're a little too common on the lower planes and elsewhere for our own good. Most of my race spend their time seducing mortals with various pleasures of the flesh, and you don't?
Updated my journal.
Updated my journal. Not as trampy as she lets on. I'd like to think that I have distanced myself from that. It's ultimately a trivial and non-productive way for one to spend one's time here in the multiverse. There's much more to life, wouldn't you agree? I guess. What was your name again? Have you ever heard of a night hag named Ravel? I'm familiar with the name. Fall from Grace pauses and thinks for a moment. Rumors cluster thickly about that name, and most tend to discount her as myth, but I suspect that she did exist and that she made quite an impression in the cage during her stay here. Why do you ask? I'm looking for her. Truly, I find myself compelled to ask why. I need information that she has. Is this information available from no one else? I suspect that only she possesses the knowledge I need.
My journal.
Grace rests her hand lightly on your arm. Consider this. If Ravel does indeed exist, then she is extremely powerful and cunning. If a fraction of the stories of her activities are true, then she's a creature that has discovered new meanings of evil. To search for her is not a quest to be undertaken lightly. Well, fucking yeah. She was said to be one of the hags of the Grey Waste, and that she was believed to possess powers and a cunning far beyond those of her sisters. She came to Sigil long ago, and in addition to the evil she committed during her stay, rumor has it that her actions threaten the cage itself. Now she primarily exists only as a fiction, a figure in children's stories. She pauses. I imagine the Lady of Pain dealt with her as all threats to Sigil are dealt with. How amazing her. She was most likely sent to a maze. This is not journal update worthy. Mazes? What are those?
Updated my journal.
God damn it. He's just writing everything down because she's saying it. The pretty girl said it was a maze. She places her hands together, thumbs and fingers touching, forming a rough circle. The lady is said to have the power to take pieces of sigil. You watch in surprise as a ghostly image of Grace's little finger pulls itself from the hand and floats into the air, curling into a small circle, and make a maze. Go on. The small ghostly circle floats in the air, then begins slowly rotating. The piece of sigil she takes holds the prisoner. There's no escaping being mazed. It can happen at any time, while walking down the street through a door. She claps her hands, and then you're somewhere else. Inside the ghostly circle, you can suddenly see a flicker of movement, like someone walking inside. Go on. She continues, the tiny ghost maze reflecting in her eyes. It's said that there's a portal that leads out of each maze, but they're difficult to find. Perhaps they're left in to give the prisoner hope. Perhaps they're left in to torture the prisoner. The ghostly maze dissolves. Perhaps it's both. Tell me more about the Grey Waste. A blighted plain that lies effectively between Baator and the Abyss. It's frequently a battleground in the Blood War. Oh, right, there was a lecture about that. She was most likely sent to a maze. Is there anyone else who might know about her? Someone in the Fest Hall. Well, I got led in a circle here. Some other
Updated
questions?
my journal.
Ba-dum-bum-bum. Would you like to join me on my travels? Who's to say she'll be coming with us? We don't need the likes of her, so we don't. Bar that fiendling. Clicks his teeth together. I'm all for the succubus coming with us. The powers know you're about as fun as passing a caltrop through your bowels. You'd best latch your bone box, skull, or I'll rattle you so hard they'll be picking your teeth off the spire. Travel with you? She seems to be ignoring your opinions. That's rather forward of you. I'd rather be honest with my intentions. You seem extremely pleasant and well-versed in the ways of the plains. A companion with that kind of knowledge would be welcome. Wait just a minute. I'm the one well-versed in the plains. That's my job. Having two people knowledgeable of the plains in our band seems pretty smart to me. I said pleasant. Pleasant on the eyes, maybe. Looks to me like all some shit has to do is show a little skin and you'll sign her right up. Well, I mean, that's why Anna joined. He falls silent. Not that I mind that, really. I just thought I'd mention it. Excuse me if I'm being too forward, but would you care to travel with us? I appreciate your candor. I shall counter with some of my own. Why should I travel with you? You know what? I don't think I want her. I don't know what the hell she is. I withdraw my request. Never mind. May I ask you a question? No questions. Only go. Tomas mentioned we might want to keep a slot open. Let's remove the decanter. Obtain permission from... Oh, right. Might get the legacy once he looks at the stone. And man, is her dad going to be fucking pissed when he sees what I did. Let's hope that stone doesn't have a memory of some Kama Sutra shit I did to her. Why did you perform a sex move on my daughter called the Arrogant Seagull? Can you help me? There's a man, Inus, whom I was hoping you would grant temporary access to the private sensorium. Why would we allow such a thing? One of the stones that contains a fragment of his daughter's experiences. She died far from home, not having seen him in a long while, and he mourns her loss deeply.
My journal.
Yes, we shall allow this Ianus to enter the private sensorium, well escorted, of course. You can tell him he has permission. Man, Splinter is fucking totally on the level. I've barely covered my crotch with this little loincloth, and everybody's so fucking nice to me. Thank you, Splinter. His skin is made of gold, and I look like a fucking hobo by comparison. Look at me. I think there's a lice in my hair. He's the real hero.
Done.
They agreed to give you access to your daughter's sensory stone. I thank you, good sir. Please go see the experiences of your daughter. I don't think they actually will ease your troubles,
Updated
but...
my journal.
8,000 experience points. Can I open the legacy? Greetings. You again. I had some questions for you. Can I get in the legacy? Are you all right? As of late, I've been beset by troubles. I'm afraid it's been a rather trying time these past few years. Anything I could help with? I'm the reason your daughter's dead. No, there's little that can be done. I appreciate your offer, thank you. Perhaps talking about your troubles will ease your mind. I have 22 wisdom. I don't wish to burden you. I lost my daughter not long ago. There was also the fire. Two people in my party fucked up your life. Tell me more. It was a strange, localized fire. I cannot imagine what would have been precious in the documents that were burned, but someone must have wanted them destroyed. Any luck in locating the person responsible? Ignis, hide around the corner. No, neither the Harmonium nor the Mercy Killers have had any fortune in locating the person responsible. Tell me what was burned. A number of old legacies were burned and some mementos. Legacies? They're contracts that are deliverable at the death of the client. They provide specifics on how a person's possessions are to be divided upon the event of their demise. I have also heard them called wills. There we go. I'm looking for the legacy of your daughter. Ah, it seems you spoke true. My daughter was known to you then. Hold a moment, and I will see what was left to you. I will wait.
My journal.
Updated my journal. There was some shit in it. All the articles are accounted for. He's holding 3 scrolls in his hand. I had no idea she'd established a legacy here. He's staring at the items, almost hypnotized. Here you are. If I may I read them? Sure. Ines takes a scroll and studies it. There's a long silence. Then he slowly looks up at you. You meant very much to my daughter. She was willing to give up her life for you. That's what the ghost said.
My journal.
He hands the scroll back to you. Thank you, sir. I appreciate your kindness. What a fucking stand-up dude I am. Walking around in my underwear. Perhaps there's something else you can help me with. What was your name again? Can you tell me more about the fire? I haven't made any progress on this fire. Tell me about your daughter. Dianara, she was young. She had recently joined the Society of Sensation. She was a sensate. Yes, he becomes slightly more animated, as if warming himself on a precious memory. She had joined them because of her gift and the fact that there was so much about the multiverse that she wanted to experience. The sensates lend themselves readily to the sharing of experiences and sensation. Gift.
Updated my journal.
Oh yes, my daughter had the blood of an oracle running in her veins, but it was unreliable talent. At times she could predict events before they took place. She had sight. She could see through time itself, sift through the threads of fate. Do you know where she went? She never said. I'm not certain she was capable of saying where they had gone. It must have been a terrible place. Do you know if she died? No. How'd she die? I don't know. Her body was never recovered. That's perhaps the most maddening part of this misery. I'll never know what possessed her to run off like that. What happened to her? Tell me about the fire? Yeah, it's a shame we can't make any progress on this fire quest. Okay.
Done.
Do you want to talk some more?
Yes.
Alright, I don't want to... Okay. I have no further questions. Let your dreams be dreams? Have you ever felt a building aflame? The flames licking the edges of the timbers, blackening the wood beneath, watching the heat peel the paint from the walls, thatch crackling, the smell of burning straw? As you speak, the crackling of the flames around Ignis's frame ebbs, as if the flames themselves are listening to your words. When you finish, Ignis hisses softly, and the flames in his eyes have dimmed, as if he's lost in a memory. Yes. Okay, we'll speak later. Okay, clues. So you have to find the portal key. Oh, right. We can go find the portal in the lower ward. As soon as I find the way out of here. Oh, wait. Wasn't someone looking for me? Some rich lady and the Sensate wants to talk. There's 2 ways into Under Sigil. The tailor. Maybe I can finally get some fucking clothes, actually, after all these jokes about my dick hanging out. Can't tell if I'm the baddie or the goodie. According to this screen, I'm a nutri. Oh, shit. I forgot to see what the legacy items were, and apparently I dropped some. Good call.
Done.
Dianar's Ring. Usable only by me. +1 all saving throws. +3 AC. +3 AC versus piercing. This ivory ring was part of Dianar's legacy. It radiates a slight glow. And though it's cold to the touch, the chill is strangely comforting. The ivory band stretches to fit the width of any finger. Although the many secrets of the Society of Sensation is the ability to shape a peculiar stone from Elysium dubbed Soulstone. While this stone is not as powerful as the sensory stones, the Soulstone is said to carry an imprint of the Shaper's feelings. These rings are often used in sensate marriage ceremonies, each ring inscribed with the feelings of the other. This ring was obviously intended for you. When wearing Dianar's Ring, you gain added protection from all attacks, and additional protection from any piercing attacks, presumably. The ring's purpose is to shield the heart from shock and trauma, and this extends to actual, like not crybaby pain. Neat. On my finger you go. What else did she give me? A healing scroll. Her legacy. My love, if you're reading this, then the tragedy I have seen has come to pass. I have died, and you have remained to suffer the loss. Know this, my love. I know that you were forced to shield your feelings from me. You sought to protect me from the terrible burden you carry with you. The distance you kept between us was your way of protecting me, and the brief moments when we were alone and you let your feelings be known, that was when I knew you cared for me. Carry no regrets with you, carry no guilt. For I came with you on your haunted journey of my own accord, and no matter how death came for me, I know that you did everything in your power to save me. Our lives are intertwined, my love, and death shall not be a wall between us. For my sight has seen what is to come, only in staccato segments, but it is enough for me to know that we will be separated for a time, but we shall be reconciled again. Thus, do not see my death as a farewell, but only as an interval before we meet again. Carry my ring with you, and these other pieces of me, and think of me. Keep me in your mind and heart, and that will be the beacon that brings us together. I wonder if I go see her with this ring on. Healing scroll? Hang on to some of this shit for me, Ignis. Adder's Tear. I don't even know where I got this one. Oh, I kind of remember that now. The Fiend's Tongue. Don't burn it. The Fest Hall room key. Oh, I guess if I couldn't bamboozle my way in, I just get a key. Okay, well. Thank you, Dianara. I haven't gone to the mortuary since I could talk to zombies. Alright, I forget the lady's name, but she'll be the one with the... Nope, this is the brothel.
All right.
Havelock sounds familiar. This narrow-eyed, sharp-faced man is scanning his surroundings with a look of vague disinterest, pausing occasionally to look down and pick at his fingernails. Despite being clothed in silk and velvet finery, he manages to look unsavory and more than a little dangerous. Hello. The man looks your way. His eyes are dark slits, like narrow stab wounds beneath his brow. His voice is low and gruff, despite his slender build. Pike off. I'd watch that mouth of yours. He makes a point of ignoring you. Shake him a bit. Oh, shit. Huh. That really went south. All right, everybody.
What's up?
Just call him a yabbo. That'll buy us some time.
Flies wouldn't even rest on your carcass.
And get cutting.
All right.
Well, sorry. There goes that quest. Maybe when this particular group of adventurers walks up to you, you don't tell me to fuck off. Just like here. Imagine a choose your own adventure from his perspective. An immortal zombie. a Githzeri warrior, a floating skull, a fire wizard who was on fire, and a tiefling thief approach you. What do? I tell them to fuck off. And if they persist, I draw my unenchanted dagger. You are dead. Game over. There she is. This stern-looking older woman appears to be looking for someone. Her eyes fix upon your face as you approach her. You there, might I have a word with you? You're Jolmy, correct? I spoke to your messenger. Pleased to meet you, then. She gives a slight bow. I'd make you a somewhat unusual proposal. Though you must admit you're an unusual man, I'll give you 1,000 copper commons for your permission to kill you. But why? Why not? I thought it might be an interesting experience, paying someone for the privilege of murdering them. When I first heard rumors of your existence, how could I resist? So what is your answer? Where'd you hear these rumors, actually? I make a cool 1,000 commons, but... One hears all sorts of things in the fest hall. How could one not eventually hear of a man like you? All right, well. After a short discussion, it comes down to the following terms. Jolmy will pay you 1,500 copper commons. In return, you will allow you to drive her dagger into your heart. She will wait for you to awaken, at which point she will give you the coin. Yes. The affair is over in moments. She's already cleaned her blade and put it away by the time you've recovered. After picking yourself up off the fest hall floor, she hands you several rolls of copper coins while you rub your aching chest. Somewhat disappointing, I must admit. Well, coin well spent nonetheless. Farewell, farewell. Updated my journal. I've invented a new kind of business.
All right.
Do corpses now walk sigil streets? Well, looks like we found some shit talkers. The smell of alcohol wafts heavily from this young woman, and despite her dark skin, you can see that her face, beautiful but cruel-looking, is flushed. She's slender but well-muscled, adorned in exotic jewelry and translucent silk clothing. Numerous scars crisscross her thighs and forearms. They look to be from battle wounds. What up? Well, what have we here? A little tiefling gutter queen come crawling out of the hive? The woman pouts, talking as one would to a small child. Are you lost, little tiefling? Oh, look, it has a tail. Anna flushes, and with a snarl, blades spout from her fists. Now, fiendkin, don't do that. The woman seems unconcerned as Anna draws her weapons and clucks disapprovingly with her tongue. Careful now, or I'll remove that tail of yours and feed it to my dog. I'll let Anna handle it. You have a sharp tongue in your wheel ass. Anna spits and sharpens her blades against each other. I wonder how sweet your tacky jewels and harlot's clothes will look when you're dead in the street. Anna, wait! You filthy spawn of the lower plains, a bitch bastard that not even a Tenaria would keep in its pen. She draws her blade. Guards, help us! She gasps in shock. You fool! Are you mad? The guards would never take your word over mine. Bitch, I got 22 wisdom. You're obviously drunk, and those scars of yours mark you as the fighting sort. You probably have a reputation for this sort of thing already. I think they just might. She stares hard at you, grinding her teeth. Let's drop this whole matter then and be on our separate ways. You've wasted enough of my time. Fucking yabo.
I'm gone.
I'd say to their citizen, it's dangerous. Down below. What's this? Peeking through the cracks in the shutters, you... Oh, right, the tailor. Hello. Malminer. This thin, sharp-faced man rushes towards you, calling for your attention. Sir, but a moment of your time. Were you by chance here to visit the tailor? I was. The man breaks in. I ask, sir, because I seem to have offended the man. I had commissioned the hot-blooded fool to make me a costume, but he's thrown me out of his shop and will not speak with me now, so... He suddenly balls his fists and shakes them at the sky. Well, what have I done to deserve such treatment? Nothing, I say. I was a patron. It was his duty to serve me. That churlish buffoon. What did you want? Oh, yes. Could I beg of you to enter the place and fetch my costume for me? I have a masquerade to go to, and I've not the time to commission another tailor. I'll try.
My journal.
Most excellent, sir. 'Tis this very building right here. He points to the long, low structure just north of him. Thank you, sir. We'll see. Hopefully I can get some clothes. How Canadian are you exactly? 84%. Gone calves. This short, heavy-set middle-aged man is wearing clothes that seem to be spun of glittering gold. In his hands, he holds a bolt of cloth, strung taut across a wooden frame. He's currently embroidering some pattern. Howdy. The man doesn't seem to acknowledge your presence. He continues to work at his embroidery, muttering under his breath. As he sews, shimmering motes of light seem to sparkle and drop from the tip of the needle. Good sir. Did you hear me? The man does not look up from his work, frowning distastefully as he answers you, yes, yes, and I'm certain that what you need is truly quite urgent. Now, if you could just be silent for a moment, I could. At last, he sets down the embroidery and looks up at you. Before you can speak, however, he suddenly picks up another item and sets to work on it again. As he works, what looks to be tiny colored sparks. Yeah, I can literally wait all day. He finally finishes his work, setting it down to examine you. Greetings, I am Gonclaves. Now, what is it you were here to see me about? I had some questions. I hoped 'tis about garments and the like. I shan't answer anything not concerning myself or the store. I wanted to pick up a Dustman costume, apparently. You're in luck then, sir. I happen to have one available. Its cost is 30. Fucking deal. That's easy. Goncalves takes a set of neatly folded robes from under a counter. Here you are, sir. I would warn you, though, if this is for the upcoming masquerade of Lord Urd, many folk are already attending as dustmen. I'll keep that in mind. Farewell, good sir. I think I waved to him. I had some questions. What were those lights while you were embroidering? Nothing, sir, but a bit of the art, which I at times weave into fabric when the fancy strikes me. Those items which I lavish enchantments upon are my most special creations, and are rarely sold. What magical clothes do you have available? Goncalves looks over, frowning. Nothing that would fit you, that's for certain. I'd like to see what you have to offer, just the same. Usable only by Anna. Why would he sell these loose-fitting hooker clothes? Armor class 4, Thaco 1. Armor class 6. Stealth skill bonus. It's clearly fashioned for a woman. This guy makes some very interesting things. What's over here? Like a dressing room, perhaps? Well, hello. Please, sir, I have things to do. Well, maybe I should go to the Sunset and record a new memory. Girl at store being a bitch to me.
Gone.
I got you your clothes. It cost me 30 commons.
Updated my journal.
Fine, take it here. He tosses you. He said many people were already going to the masquerade as dustmen. Did he? Blast. I'd hate to arrive in such a common costume. I could go see if he has another. Not a bad idea. Not bad at all. See if that portly nincompoop has another. Okay.
Updated my
Looks like
journal.
my skills have increased.
That leveled us up. So there I was. My boss was giving a man a costume in exchange for $30 when suddenly I felt 20% stronger than before. 12 fucking hit points. Jesus Christ, Mort. I don't like how I can't talk to people over counters. That's a little rude to run in here. I had some questions. I need a different masquerade costume. I wanted to pick up another, different costume. The Dustman bit seemed a bit too common after all, eh? Well, it just so happens that I have a Godsman costume if you'd like. It shall cost you only 50 coppers. Again, a bargain. He retrieves a set of folded clothing and a heavy leather apron and work boots. Here you are, sir. Thank you, Goncalves.
I'm gone.
$50 commons.
Updated my journal.
He makes a disgusted noise, snatches the costume from you, and shoves 50 coins in your hands. Now I have to be off. I think we broke even.
Gone.
A harlot. This beautiful, seductively attired prostitute is a far cry from those you saw in the hive. She smells of expensive perfumes, and the lines of her face are subtly accentuated with lightly painted lines of soft, warm colors. She smiles as you approach her and curtsies gracefully. Greetings, good sir. Seeking to quench a lust, Mistress Grace... yes. Mistress Grace's brothel cannot satisfy. Yes, actual sex. Hello. $500 dues. Fucking, I'll just risk the super aids down in the hive. How about spotting old Mort a bit of jink? No. I do have enough, but no. $500 for a dire hand job. I just kind of stormed out. Oh, right, we're checking the market is supposedly where the portal to Revel is. I had some questions, Drixel. No. It's around here somewhere. Is it this? Because this door is sealed shut, isn't it? Nope. Corvus, what is this? Do you know someone named Byron Pickett? What? What can you tell me about him? Anything I know about that individual is harmonium business, citizen. I can't discuss such matters with strangers. Perhaps after I get to know you better. Alright, I'm looking for Byron. Check our journal for Byron. Try to see what he's looking at. You glance over your shoulder and notice a young lady wandering about the market. Ah. Looks like he's trying to, save 500 coppers, as it were. He snaps his attention back to you. I beg your pardon, citizen. His eyes wander back to the young woman and his voice fades almost to a whisper. She has the voice of an angel and she's such a pretty young thing. Why don't you go talk to her?
Updated my journal.
I've updated my journal. I'm a matchmaker now. I'm multi-classing. An uncomfortable silence fills the air. Finally, he turns his attention back to you. I just couldn't. I mean, a woman like that? Well, she must be. Was there anything else I can help you with? Byron Pickett. I have no idea why I asked him about Byron Pickett. All right, where's the girl? Karina. You see a pretty young woman wearing simple clothes. She wanders about the market and examines everything, but does not make any purchases. You notice that people seem to be avoiding her, but they try not to make it obvious. Hello. Hello, I'm Karina. It's a pleasure to meet you, Cutter. I'm a goddamn wizard. She continues to smile and waits for your response. I have some questions. Where can I buy... matchmaker is going to be a little harder than I thought. Where can I buy some weapons? Ann's over there sells some shit. Oh, what? Are you a warrior? How silly of me. Of course you are. I mean, how could you not be with all those scars? Shouldn't mention those. You're not sensitive about them, are you? Yes, you dumb bitch. No. She looks relieved. Oh, good. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings, or anyone else's for that matter. You just have to be careful what you say to someone, you know? I mean, people are different and you never know. What may offend one person may not offend another. So, anyway, she pauses for a breath. I have some questions. Magic? She smiles and points to one of the counters. Alec over there sells magic items. Are you a mage? You don't look like one, but I guess looks can be rather deceiving. I don't know what a mage really looks like now that I think about it, do you? They wear robes with funny symbols and a pointy hat. Really, that's good to know. I mean, mages scare me, so I want to know what they look like. I guess it's all that power they have. And they can do really incredible things and all, but you don't know what they look like. Warriors and priests and, you know, other powerful people just look powerful with all the stuff they carry around that says they're powerful people, but not mages. You like to talk, don't you? She shuffles her feet and looks embarrassed. I've been told that I probably talk a bit too much, and, well, people tend to avoid me, and I don't really have any friends or male friends courting me. Sometimes I get lonely. Her voice gets lower and lower until she's finally silent. She stares at the ground in her feet. I don't think you're a bad person.
Updated my journal.
She gives you a hopeful look. Really? Thank you so much. I don't know your name. Same. She frowns, starts to say something, and then thinks better of it. She shrugs her shoulders. What's in a name? It's just nice to know I have a friend. All right, well, we can go tell that guard that he can take advantage of this emotionally unstable woman and have an abusive relationship with her. She has no friends, so she has nowhere to run. Her name's Karina. He snaps his attention back to you. I beg your pardon. You know her, citizen? He looks at Karina again. Voice of an angel. Yes, she has no friends.
Updated my journal.
He glances at you, then back at Karina. Excuse me a moment, citizen. He returns to you and is smiling brightly. Thank you, friend. A wonderful young lady. My pleasure. I have some questions. Why do I care about Byron Pickett?
Updated my journal.
Officially, nothing. He pauses for a moment before answering. Unofficially, he's suspected of being behind most of the criminal activity here at the market. We believe him to be responsible for the murder of a merchant named Zach. His list of suspected crimes is quite long. Anything else?
Updated my journal.
Yes, I wouldn't turn my back to him, and I'd think twice about being anywhere alone with him. That's all, friend. Okay, thanks, man. Any new stuff? I doubt it, but any new stuff? Derisive Laughter. It's a level 3 wizard. Doesn't it make them... Ba-ba-da-ba-bum. -2. No, I'd much rather just hit him dead on. Shroud of Shadows. Yeah, these don't look like new spells. Alright, we never confronted this bitch. You see Xanthia. She gives you a look filled with hatred. You warned the brute, didn't you? I did what I felt was right. Fuck you. She nods her head slowly. I won't forget this insult. Good day to you. Get the fuck out of here. Alright, see you, Sebastian. Who are you? Oh, no, shit. It's a Gith. I would have you hear me. What is it, Dakan? She's a Gith. Very well, then. You have my gratitude. All right. Close one. All right. So we've made no progress on... The portal should be here, but I'm not sure where.
Done.
Laszlo would know. Wouldn't Laszlo know a weird doorway? Well, I guess they don't look weird. That's the problem with fucking the city. I don't want any of this shit. That's not the foundry. You're right. You're right. The foundry was a separate building we never visited, but that's where all the fucked up smoke comes from. Is that where the Godsmen work? Warehouse, siege tower, the print shop. How do I get into the foundry, actually?
Done.
Hello, sir. You see a burly, bored-looking guard. State your business, please. What is this place? You're in front of the Great Foundry, home to the Believers of the Source. The who? Yes, sir. Godsmen were called. Why? We're one of the 15 recognized factions of Sigil Sur. Oh, shit. We're one of the 78 factions you can converse with in the game Planescape Torment. Each character in our faction possesses 13 paragraphs of rich backstory. We're one of the 15 recognized factions of Sigil, sir. We believe that every being has within it the spark of divinity. Neither good nor evil necessarily, but potential to be divine. Beyond divinity, we believe there lies something greater. We believe all life has a purpose and a goal, and we're devoted to understanding what these goals are. We strive towards greatness with every step in our lives. Wild, man, just wild. I had some more questions. What is this place? What is the Great Foundry? Aside from being home to the Believers of the Source, it's also one of the largest foundries known to mortal existence. Much traffic passes through these gates, even though the door's fucking locked. We take orders from all across the plains. Currently, we're not accepting any further orders, as most of our craftsmen are either working on a new project or are commissioned for the next several months on smaller orders. What this means in practical terms is that you're not getting in unless you have a receipt for work to pick up or have urgent business inside. But I do have urgent business. I wanted to rummage around. I'm certain you won't mind just passing along. May I come in? Not until the... Okay. Okay, see ya. Alright, so we haven't found the key. Is the key the stone, maybe? Oh, right, these fucking people that are like, come get your slaves. You can whip them as long as you feed them. So I can't get in the foundry. But we still have to find the key. Find her. Now find the portal key. A mage named Quell told me the key to the portal was a piece of rabble. That's not super fucking handy if we're going to be honest with each other here, journal. 2 Undersigil, like, would it be in Undersigil? Small dwelling. This short, scholarly man, a tight, nervous frown on his face, looks you up and down. Greetings, I am Finham. I must beg your pardon, sir, but I care little for guests, invited or otherwise. So unless you've business with me, I would ask you to leave. I have questions. I'd have you know that I'm a scholar and a linguist, sir. Well, I shall happily entertain any questions regarding my field of study. Okay, fuck you.
All right.
How do I get out of here? Art and Curio Gallery. I don't think we need to worry about that. Let's try the Apothecary and then, I don't know, maybe try our luck in the Undersigil. I want to say that's where she lived before the Lady of Pain found her. Like maybe she's got a house. Pestle Kiln. You see a wall-eyed fellow whose skin seems to writhe and ripple across his entire body. He's smacking his chapped lips with a blotched tongue. As you watch, his right eye moves independently of the left, focusing on you. A second later, the left one flicks to look your way, then reverts to its original position. That is fucked up. Pestle, I'm called the alchemist. He points at himself again, this time with his left index finger. The name's Kiln. Are you all right? I am. His throat convulses for a moment, then relaxes. A large green glowing pustule suddenly bursts from the side of his neck. Something you needed then, sir? His throat clenches again, and a wave of quivering flesh swallows the blistering green pustule back beneath the skin of his throat. He coughs violently for a moment, then seems to relax. What the fuck is wrong with you? Too much to drink. Too much of what, though? Potions I drank. Too many potions. His mouth slides down beneath his chin. His left nostril forms another one. The most I ever drank, that's for certain. Of polymorphin they were, and brewed in limbo. Can I help? The man's eyes turn inward to look at each other, then back to you. Dunno. He shudders. The mouth below his chin moves up to envelop the one his nostril formed. This sort of thing happens quite often. We can't seem to help but sample the stock. If you find a way to help, the 2 of us would be grateful, sir. There's 2 of you. Oh, it's probably 2 dudes. Half of his mouth curls downward into a frown. He shakes his head. Work in the stock room all day, I do. He shudders violently. A third eye opens over the bridge of his nose. I speak only of the store, sir. That said, the skin of his face seems to eat the new eye. Okay.
All right.
Yep, just... Oh, I have a gold bracelet to sell, don't I? Might be able to clear 2,000 coppers. I can probably ditch this, because I have like 10 charges of magic missile. Sell the Vaponation there. Quell. Split pestle and kiln. I met a man who was actually 2 different people melded into one. I told him that if I found a way to split them, I'd return. Actually, did they teach me a spell? They did. Sensory Touch. This spell can only be used at touch range upon a living creature. Magic resistance. It heals 1 to 10 hit points of damage, but then I take 1 to 10 hit points. Now, if you had very high constitution, that would be an incredible spell on the nameless one. Oh, that hooker has a name. This tall, slender woman occasionally looks up from her cup of wine to scan the surrounding patrons and passerby. Her facial features are elegantly exotic, and her eyes, a brilliant golden color, catch the light sparkling as she looks about. Greetings. She regards you carefully for a moment before replying. She speaks slowly and carefully, avoiding direct eye contact with you. I, Aelwyn, return your greetings. Are you looking for someone? She nods, staring wistfully into her cup of wine. Nimel is her name. Idiots at the wrong bar.
Updated
I could
my
help you?
journal.
You would do this. She looks up from her cup, smiling, and you're suddenly overcome with a sense of hope and joyous gratitude. Seeing you tense up, she covers her mouth and averts her eyes once more. Okay, what the fuck was that all about, by the way, with your weird monologue magic? What was what, kind stranger? I, Aelwyn, know not of which you speak. What does Nimel look like? She looks like you. Okay.
Done.
Your friend Elwyn's looking
Updated
for
my
you.
journal.
Her lips form a perfect smile, and infectious happiness radiates from her, clinging to you like sweet-smelling warmth. Nimel was overjoyed to hear of her friend. Was Elwyn close by? She's across the street, you idiot. Nimel thanked the man for his wondrous news. Soon she would go to visit her oldest friend Elwyn. Now, though, she would reward the stranger. Okay. There's no need for that. She would draw the stranger close, laying her hand upon his chest and kissing the pale, leathery skin of his cheek. Life would flow into him, invigorating him. This, then, was to be his reward. Max HP +3. That kind of cancels out when we singed a bunch of our flesh off. 8,000 experience, too. As you wait, there's a light tingling sensation upon your cheek and chest. The feeling spreads across the whole of your body, and you begin to feel stronger, more animated. Goodbye. How we doing on level next? Whoa! 40,000 to go. Barkeeper. Oh, there's a few people here with names. Let's see if we can make any progress on Drunken Mage. Something wrong. He's a drunk. Why don't you stop? Oh, yeah, he didn't. Unless I yell at him. Abel Ponderthought. This older man looks somewhat bookish. His clothing and accessories are extremely clean, neat, and well cared for, and he often pauses to brush some fleck of dust or lint off of them. A symbol resembling a stylized dagger, piercing upwards through a flame, is embroidered upon his tunic. Hello? The man's eyes pass over you, gleaming as they fix on Mort. Oh, I say, would you look at that? A floating skull. Where? Where? The man gasps. By the unjust laws of Twairny the Merciless. Who? He suddenly covers his mouth and looks at Anna apologetically. Sorry. The man was a horrible tyrant, now long dead. His name should never be spoken, so 'tis rather vulgar. My deepest apologies, my lady. I did not mean to offend. Tips fedora +1. She shrugs, rolling her eyes. Talk as you like, Cutter. I care not for what you say. Unless you're rattling your bone box about me, that is. Try and get his attention. He turns back to Mort. But behold, a skull, buoyant, levitating off the ground, cognitive of its environment, and possessing hearing, speaking, and seeing capabilities. He turns to you, as if you're suddenly a confidant. This is truly one of the reasons that the plains shall never become dull to me, sir. Just when you think you've seen everything, the plains show you yet another corner to peek around. He raises his hands gloriously. Suddenly, whole new wondrous vistas are open to you. Yeah, apparently, he's not super rare. Right up there with self-resurrecting amnesiac scouring sigil for their lost identities. The man ignores you. I say, skull. Look behind you, another floating skull. Okay. The man seems to have forgotten you entirely, instead turning in shock to look for this other floating skull. Where? Right where I'm pointing, there. Where? I can't see it. Mort speaks with mock exasperation. You just missed it. A whole parade of them. Probably never happen again in a million revolutions of the Great Ring. He turns and harumphs. I sense you also possess a degree of mockery. Mort bobs slightly, as if shrugging. I prefer to refer to it as keen insights into human nature. Get the man's attention. He suddenly seems to see you for the first time. The man's eyes widen. By the unjust laws of Twairny, Are you all right? You look hurt. I'm fine. In fact, that lady just kissed me and I got HP. It hurts to look at him, it does. It's an odd comment from someone with what looks to be a giant's rat tail spouting from her bottom. You know what? She's been talking a little too much shit today. She bares her teeth, tail lashing. Is that so, you pike and leatherhead? If you wants, me and me tail can just walk right out of your sight for good. Would that make you happy? We could swap her out for the succubus. But she does have like $4,000 sword on her. An eye for an eye. She smirks at you, but makes no move to leave. You're fucking right. I had some questions. Do you know of Ravel Puzzlewell? If she truly existed, and there is little to prove that she did, was a night hag, one of the inhabitants of the Grey Wastes. As the legend goes, she was made several centuries ago. She was believed of being a mistress of many strange magics, and apparently her presence and sigil constituted a threat to the lady. I'm afraid I know. Fuck off. Need to find a piece of her. The mazes. These are creations by the lady, you see. She takes a small piece of sigil, copies it, then uses a portal to place the copied bit in the deep ethereal. Once there, the piece of the sigil then becomes a demi-plane, an endless maze that curls and twists about itself. The lady uses these mazes to imprison anyone who threatens her power. Once she has determined that you're to be imprisoned, there is no escaping them. There is believed to be a way out of each maze, but it is most likely extremely difficult. What's outside of sigil? No one knows, and it is not from want of trying. At the places where no true wall exists are solid walls of buildings, with no windows that look beyond. Some claim to have climbed roofs and seen the outside of sigil, but they can only describe the outside as nothing. That is an unacceptable explanation, but it still remains a mystery. It is rumored, without fact, that to step beyond sigil walls takes the traveler to a random plane, but this has not been confirmed. The Fraternity of Order has mounted many expeditions, and we have yet to retrieve concrete information. The what?
Updated my journal.
The Fraternity of Order believes that the multiverse is governed by laws. When one knows all the laws, one will understand the multiverse. That is our goal. By understanding the laws, their limits, we learn to avoid certain laws. What sort of benefits are in the position? Well, our fraternity allows us to read languages quite easily, and we may use some rules of the multiverse on occasion to suit our benefits. That's weird. What's with the symbol? Why, 'tis the symbol of the Fraternity of Order. We're responsible for much of the law-making and running the courts here in Sigil. Many judges, advocates, and clerks are members of our order, and we're pleased to be able to help enforce Sigil's laws and keep things orderly. We make a strident effort to learn all laws, whether they pertain to Sigil, the planes, or the multiverse themselves. What do you believe? Yeah, alright, that's old. Alright, caught in a loop with him, be on our way.
I don't trust the
All
gift. I say we leave it behind.
Yeah, okay, we'll grab Grace. Worst case scenario, it's more inventory, right? 22 wisdom, think I can sweet talk her into joining.
All right.
How may I help you?
Would you like to travel with us? I intend to travel to places no one else has ever been to or could reach. Would that interest you? That would indeed. She cups her chin in her hand and thinks for a moment, yet... How exciting can this place be? I think you'd be surprised. If you want me to accompany you on your travels, I need a far more compelling reason than that. Well, have you considered fucking yourself? I seem to have lost my memories. In doing so, I've lost myself. You've been stricken with amnesia? Fall from Grace looks pained. How terrible. Do you have any idea how it happened? Not really. At least not that I can remember. I woke up on a slab in the mortuary, and everything before that is black. You were woke in the mortuary? Yes. My backstory. Those scars on your body. Can I touch them? Yes. Fall from Grace drags your finger across your chest lightly, tracing the edges of your scars and following the curves where they blend into some of your tattoos. She seems fascinated. These scars do look as if they would have taken several lifetimes to accumulate. They certainly do, but some are more recent. She steps back. Some of these wounds would have been fatal to a normal man. She taps her chin, thinking, what do you intend to do now? I need to get my memories back and my life back. I intend to scour the plains and search inside myself until I can piece together who I am and what brought me to this state. Fall from Grace is still thinking, her finger tapping on her chin. I must say I've never met a man who had lost himself in the literal sense. Condition is intriguing. Intriguing enough to join my party? Apology accepted. If it will help you, you're welcome to tour the brothel. Several of our students are well versed in the verbal arts. Perhaps some of them will be able to rekindle your memories. Oh.
Updated my journal.
Actually, maybe she'll join now that I've got a wacky backstory. Fuck off, Anna. You wouldn't be interested in traveling with an immortal amnesiac who's searching the plains for himself? I'd be extremely interested. Then you'd like to travel with me. If you wish me to, then there is something you must do for me. There are 10 students in this establishment. I would like to speak to all of them and then return to me with your thoughts. Okay.
Updated my journal.
10 pseudo whores. And then we can go. Hang on, what is this? Some sort of sex bot? Oh, these are the guys that wear the monocles. This strange cubic creature seems to be as much machine as it is organic. As you approach the thing, it silently stares at you with wide, unblinking eyes. Its face hasn't the slightest trace of emotion on it. This is the cube toy in the curio shop, so maybe if we buy that, we can get a Mordrin to join us. Come on, Chief. We're in a building full of some of the sexiest chits this side of the multiverse, and you're stopping to talk to Mordrins? What is a Mordrin? Annoying little clockwork pests. They're always working to impose law and order upon the multiverse. Not good, mind you, just law. Let's just forget about them and go chat up the ladies. I'm not evil, but I don't think I'm good, so I don't know if I'd want like a lawful good robot. Actually, lawful neutral? Ignore Mort, greet the Modron. Its voice has a metallic reverberating quality to it, as if it were more a sound played on some warped musical instrument than true speech. Your greeting is returned. There is a soft click as the creature blinks. An awkward silence hangs in the air between the two of you. Identify yourself to us. I'm not sure who I am. We would know why this is so. I can't remember. All things should have a name. All things should be identified. We find your answer unsatisfactory, but she'll have to suffice for the present. The creature pauses and blinks at you. We would identify ourselves as Modrins. Quadrone type, winged variant to the subject. Had some questions? What are you doing here? Our purpose here is observation. You're observing the hookers? They are. The subject of our scrutiny is named Dolora. We have not been informed as to the specific purpose or purposes which resulted in our being given our present task. The command of our superior, Pentadrone, is sufficient reason to perform said task. As such, the purpose or purposes are irrelevant to us. I had some questions about Ravel Puzzlewell. We know nothing of any being or object possessing such an appellation. Fuck you, then. Juliet. This dark-haired young woman is staring listlessly off into space. Sighing miserably and occasionally picking at the seams of her green velvet gown, it's difficult to discern whether she's depressed or bored. She gives you only the briefest of glances before staring off into the distance. One more greetings. I am named Juliet. How many Oh, never now, mind. Leave me be, please. Excuse me. Oh, nothing at all. Only that I spend my days gazing into the face of mediocrity, seeing if anything can erase its dreadful, tedious passage. Why is your life tedious? Alas, it is, she sighs, closing her eyes and massaging her temples. Dreadfully boring. Perhaps I could make it less boring for you. No, 'tis kind of thee to offer, though. I am already with a man, sir, and I do love him dearly. 'Tis just that I wish something more of our liaison. There's a problem with the relationship? Yes, there's a problem, in that there are no problems to speak of. Our families took the news of our courtship splendidly. As siblings love my siblings, and our friends think our union to be blessed by the powers themselves. All fine and good, but things are going so smoothly. 'Tis not right to have such a trouble-free courtship. All right, this girl's fucking trouble. Dost thou not? Hast thou ever had such a courtship? She glances briefly at you. 'Twould seem that thy life is filled with a variety of problems, judging by the pallor of thy skin. The remnants of the ones I have encountered suggest that I've had some problems. 'Tis just all my friends have such interesting relationships. One's fraught with turmoil, feuding families, daggers at one another's backs, poison, mad siblings, and irate fathers with large swords. I have a lover whose family loves me and whom the world loves. She sighs again. A great source of annoyance. How I wish I could formulate some way to spice things up. Mort floats close to you, whispering, I feel sorry for her lover. He doesn't know how bad he has it. A chit like this is nothing but trouble. Relish what you have. I wish to experience troubles, though. I wish to experience the ups and downs of courtship, but with him, no other. Such a thing is love. It can be dull as a club, and is of no use to an aspiring sensate. An aspiring sensate? She exhales a long and forlorn sigh. You realize she's not even looking at you. Did you fucking hear me?
Updated my journal.
Oh, I wasn't truly listening. My apologies. But certainly thou hast not come to simply deliver a litany of questions on my life of tedium and tedious things. Questions. Do you know anything about Ravel Puzzle well? Alright, fuck you. This petite, attractive young woman is smiling blissfully and humming to herself. Her wide, pale blue eyes seem to constantly drink in her surroundings as she looks about. The smiling young woman curtsies gracefully and looks up to you, smiling. Well met, good sir. I'm Nenny. How are you this fine? She suddenly notices your scars and places a gloved hand over her mouth. You're hurt? All over? Mort spins around you, mocking the girl's obviousness. Powers above, Chief. She's right. I never noticed before. You're covered in scars. Oh, fuck off. I had some questions. She can't seem to tear her eyes from your scars. Oh, how shameful of me. Don't mind my rude staring. I'm named Nenny. She makes a little curtsy. And it's my great pleasure to welcome you to our brothel of the slating of intellectual lusts. She returns to staring at your body. You have tattoos under those scars, too. What's that one? Well, that one's... She looks fascinating. Look at the way the lines of ink. I think that's ink. Allow her to touch you. I think that's ink. She traces a finger over the edge of the tattoo. Is it ink? What a pattern. Look at the way the lines intersect here. She touches the center of the tattoo. That's simply amazing. She purses her lip and frowns in disappointment. Could make it out better if there weren't so many scars. Well, that's not how fucking scars work, lady. I'm sorry. Pox on me for even mentioning them. But I have to know, are you absolutely sure you're all right? I'm looking at you, and I can't help believe that you're not in some pain. I have amnesia. Amnesia? Loss of memory? You're so lucky. Everything must be so new to you. The newness is unwelcome. That sounds so sad. Yeah. What are you doing here? Talking to you, silly. She giggles and pokes you in the belly. I'm under the impression it's all ab. Just like I talk to all the patrons here, all the prostitutes do. That's what the brothel's about. Learning new ways to talk and share experiences and understand other people. But they still call themselves prostitutes. Sure I can. The brothel of slating intellectual lust is a school that was started by Mistress Fall from Grace. The prostitutes here, like me, are taught the ins and outs of talking to people, all to help us learn more about ourselves and others. I love it here. It's a non-stop wave of experiences crashing into me, filling my head with fresh new ideas. I guess it's good that there's something in here. Another question?
Updated my journal.
Huh. That's a great name, though. I'll bet she's a really interesting person. You should ask Eves about her. She collects all kinds of stories. Okay. That's Echo the Dolphin there. Hello? Maybe this is where the sex part of the brothel is.
All right.
Greetings, sir. Might I ask how you came to be here? I found a secret door. I'd best work on concealing it a bit better then. He shrugs and smiles at you. I'm the brothel's caretaker, by the way. You're not supposed to be down here, really, but it's alright if you look about for a bit. I had some questions. What is this place? It's where the ladies' sensory stones are kept. They use them as diaries of a sort. You won't be able to use them if that's what you're thinking. Each of them is attuned to one particular student of the brothel, so that only she may access that stone.
Updated my journal.
Weird. This clear stone, held in a mesh of engraved silver bands, pulses with a brilliant inner light inscribed... Oh, this is the girl that knows about Ravel Puzzlewell, maybe.
All right.
Marissa, no time for that. Where the hell is Eves? Kimaski Addertongue. Yeah, she sounds like a real sweetheart. There we are. This fetching young woman has a faraway look in her soft sea green eyes. Hello. I am Eves, the tail chaser. What a coincidence. I too chase tails. Great. Have you come to trade tails? I would like to trade tails. Let me tell you about the time I helped a pregnant city. She leans forward as you tell the tale of the alley giving birth. She seems to devour your every word. As you finish, she smiles at you. I shall remember this tale, and now I have one for you. Before I begin, I must ask you, do you know what a Mordrin is? Not especially, so let's start from the top. Mordrins are creatures of total law, almost more machinery than living things. There are many different sorts of Mordrin, but all have their place in a very rigid, carefully organized hierarchy. So dedicated are they to the system that they cannot communicate with or even consider the existence of Mordrins who are not their immediate superiors or inferiors. Interesting. Then I shall tell the tale of the Clock and the Quadrone. Once upon a time there existed a Mordrin. It was newly created, its logic fresh and untested, and it had come to Sigil, following the commands of its Mordrin superiors. It knew nothing but commands and dictates, of obedience and passing along the orders of its superiors, for you see, Modrins are only aware of the commands of their immediate superiors. They have no grasp of a higher authority until this one. One day it came upon a small shop, within which there was a small clock that could no longer tell time. It was cracked along the edges, the wheels of its hands broken. The Modrin immediately set to work getting the parts to fix the broken clock. I didn't mean to interrupt your story, but let's just get right to it. Do you know anything about Ravel Puzzlewell? The tale of Ravel Puzzlewell, frightener of children, begins and ends with a question. What can change the nature of a man? Go on. Many were the times she posed this riddle to those who approached her. Those who sought to glean from her the strange magic she alone seemed to possess. All attempted to answer her query, but to no avail. And they found the price of their wrong answer to be some horrible fate, always more terrible than the last victims. To recount the various torments would be to speak of things that nightmares are woven from. Go on. The tale strikes me in this way. Ravel herself knew not the answer to this question, but she lusted for such an answer. Only the why of the matter remained in question. Why did the nature of man matter to one of the Grey Sisters, especially to one of such power as Ravel? It said that she put the question to the Lady of Pain, not directly, but shouted it to Sigil itself, daring for the lady to answer. When no reply was forthcoming, she wove terrible magics that threatened to open the cage and let the fury of the plains roll in like a wave. She received no answer other than banishment. To this day, no one knows the answer to Ravel's question, and now there's no one to petition, for Ravel herself is gone, lost to the plains.
Updated my journal.
Oh, there's more. Though my tale ends with Ravel's demise, there are some that claim the hag still lives. There's a silent prostitute here who once talked of such things, but she speaks no longer. If she would speak to you, she might tell you more of Ravel. I have a fiend's tongue. What can you tell me?
Journal.
Echo? I once heard a tale of a girl who knew the word that, if spoken, would undo the multiverse. Perhaps that is Echo. Ask Delora, though. I understand that she sometimes meets with one who knew Echo before she stopped speaking. Where's Delora?
Hi.
This dark-haired, pale-skinned woman has a cultured, refined look about her. As she turns to you, you note that her eyes, which you had previously thought to be gray, are the color of brushed steel. The woman's voice is soft, calm, and without inflection. It has a certain faraway quality, as if somehow not attached to her. Greetings. I'm called Delora. May I serve you somehow? I had some questions. Delora cast her eyes to the floor with a sound that might be a sad sigh. I'm willing to serve you as a patron, but I have no wish to answer other questions at this time. My apologies, but I fear you shall simply have to bear with that for the time being. What the fuck is your problem? No, I fear not. My troubles are a matter of the heart. In time, I think, all things shall be resolved. Are you certain there's nothing I could do? Certain? She pauses as if thinking. No, I'm not. My first love, Merriman, possesses still the keys to my heart. So long as he has them, I shan't be free to love another. This is the cause of my melancholy. That's that crybaby in the Sensate. I'll speak to him on your behalf.
My journal.
The slightest hint of a smile appearing on her lips, she bows her head. Were you to find and speak with Merriman, I'd be most grateful. He's a member of the Society of Sensation. Yep, I know where that is.
Might as well.
I'm gone.
How are we doing for money? 1,700. We could buy the puzzle cube, but let's hold out on it.
All right.
Jumble Murder Sense. Let's stay away from that one. There you are. Your hooker girlfriend wanted to talk to you. That's so? About what? She says that you're her first love, and that so long as you hold the keys to her heart, she'll never be free to love another. She told you that, eh? I'm surprised. Perhaps leaving under her Mistress Grace's tutelage did what I couldn't. Started to develop her feelings. In any case, he pats a pocket in his tunic. I won't just give the keys to you. Are those literally keys? That they are. Delora's a construct. Didn't you know that? A creature of sorcery and clockwork mechanics she is. And one of my finest creations, but cold, without emotion or character. I brought her to the brothel and set her so that she could not leave, in the hopes that the constant contact with so many others would begin to develop her own personality. The keys are the tools used to set her. She wants them because she feels they're limiting her personal growth now. Just give her the keys? Because I've become a cruel and bitter old man who sees he can get something out of you. What do you want? I want to forget. I have lived almost 150 years now, and I've seen every sensory stone I've cared to in this grand hall. I have little time left to live, and I'm too weak to go out in search of wholly new experiences, so I need to find a way to forget them all. That way I can start again in my final days. Do I just hit you in the back of the head? How can I help?
Updated my journal.
I'll need something, some item, some concoction that will allow me to forget, like a draught of the river Styx. All right, let's check the spooky antique shop. Or maybe an alchemist, but then we have to help the alchemist. Well, the item shop might have something for the alchemist.
All right.
All right, what do you got for me this time? Horrific separation. That was easy. 200 copper commons. I'll take it. You examine a bottle labeled as Elixir of Horrific Separation. This stuff was compounded by a scholar who'd found she possessed a darker half, a side of her which took control at times and bade her do awful things. This potion was to have split the darker half away from her, creating two separate beings. Mercy killers, however, found and executed her for a string of depraved murders. All right. What else do you got? Baby oil, Dava's tears, middle of the store. Oh, middle of the store is the default, back of the store. The stained lens, Yevra's ring, the rune-covered alestein. What the fuck? You examine a large pewter alestein covered in strange runes. An ale mug of unusual manufacture, which keeps its contents... Huh. The tattered rag doll. What is this? The years have not been kind to this tiny rag doll. It's coming apart at the seams, and it looks like its threads are unraveling. It's obviously intended to be a replica of the Lady of Pain, but the button eyes and its plush softness don't strike much fear into your heart. Vrashika holds it up to you. This was found in a well-trapped strongbox sunk deep beneath the surface of Sigil. It was part of a small hoard of treasure and forbidden magical text, so I don't know what it's for. 99 copper coins for the spooky doll, maybe another time. So let's hope that once we sort out the alchemist, they can give us some sort of forgetfulness potion. Like a revolver. Remember to wipe your own memory when you're finished. I have this potion which might work. Both of his eyes suddenly snap to the small bottle in your hands. Here you are. Here you go. 6,000. Pestilkiln takes the bottle in both his hands and places it beneath the counter. His left eye focuses on you while his right eye and hand concentrate on scribbling furiously on the countertop. We can use this to make something that'll fix us. Right on up. Now, if you give us a moment, when we got it all worked out, we'll make you some healing stuff for a reward. Okay. Hey, you're two people.
All right.
This man's face closely resembles Pestilkiln's, though without the crawling skin and constant subtle mutations. Greetings again. The name's Kiln. I want to buy something. You'll have to talk to Pestil about that. You're going to make me some stuff? Okay, you don't do anything. This man closely resembles Pestilkiln, though without the... Greetings again, sir. Healing concoctions? Of course, your reward, Let's see now. I'll manufacture them for you for nothing, of course, but I'll need the proper ingredients. An Oni's heart, or powdered hematite, or the hair of a deva, or the thread from an Asimin's robe, or the blood of a regenerating creature, such as a troller. Actually, my blood regenerates. Do they now? Well then, your own blood just might do. Give me a sample. Can they make blood charms out of me? After drawing a small quantity of your blood and retreating to the back of the store, Pestil returns with a number of what appear to be hardened drops of blood. Placed upon one's tongue, these clot charms will heal existing wounds and aid in the prevention of new ones. Neat. I wanted to buy something. Well, it's conversation one of something to help her forget. Maybe we just buy it from the curiosity shop. I mean, I'm glad we helped these guys, but I'm not blown away by the stock.
I'm gone.
I feel we're close. If we fix Delora, she'll help us visit Echo, and I think we just give Echo her tongue. Actually, maybe we can bypass it by just giving Echo her tongue from the get-go. What the hell would help you forget? Huh. What did you mean by calling more prevaricating? Prevaricating? Misrepresenting, perjuring, dissimulating, lying? Oh, did I say that? I meant a floating disembodied pontificating skull, as in dogmatic, always stating an opinion in a self-important manner. Right. Front of the store. Baby oil? Oh wait, Codex of Inconceivable might make you forget stuff. Baby oil? Interested? It's the real thing, of course. Thousands of mewling mortal babies went into the making of this stuff. No thanks. You examine a rather unassuming book held closed by a tiny brass lock. That, Shiku's, is the Codex of the Inconceivable. I'll only say that it's just, well, I can't explain it. Mere words simply won't suffice. You can own it yourself for a mere 1,000 copper coins. I want to say that might make him just forget. Deva's tears? These were collected from a Deva who was captured during a blood war skirmish. The fiends tormented the imprisoned angel for eons before he at last escaped. This small bottle holds the 12 tears he shed in that time. 100 copper coins. Sure. Yevra's ring. This is Yevra's ring of almost invisibility. It makes the wearer invisible, almost. I'll part with it for the meager sum of no. That sounds like a trick. That's it. Maybe we do just give Echo the tongue. Because I don't know how to make him forget. They didn't sell any potions, and I didn't see any artifacts. Deva tears are said to soothe the most savage anger. Even that of a fiend's tongue. Might be able to use this on an Abishai. Speaking of, I don't need this.
Done.
Which one? Oh, there you are. There you are. There you are. This striking young woman has the skin the color of burnished copper. A translucent white dress held precariously by golden clasps is draped carefully over her shapely form. Greetings. The woman nods and smiles briefly. The scent of her hair, sweetly perfumed, fills your nostrils. I had some questions. May I ask why you can't communicate? She sighs softly and nods. Do you know the word that will undo the multiverse if it's spoken? Her eyes widen in surprise. Then she gives you a beaming smile, rolling her eyes and shaking her head. May I ask if I ask something else then? Do you know anything about Ravel Puzzlewell? Her eyes flash and she smiles. What do you know of her?
My journal.
She's simply you. Fuck it. Yep, so there's no way to... We gotta do the Delora part. Find a way to erase Merriman's memory. He suggested water from the river Styx for the task, so I'm not certain where I would find some. What the fuck would I get from the river Styx? The Undersigil, maybe? That's a bit of a hike.
Done.
If it's in the Undersigil, we're just going to wrap it up here. I don't have time to do that. Unless it's some towny talk and shit. We're getting very close to the end tonight. I had some questions. All right, none of them want to answer my
I'm gone.
questions.
Done.
Yeah, we could just talk to the others and hope for the best. Who did I miss? I think we missed some girls on the right side. So Eka can't talk. We already talked to Delora. Casey Saris. This alarmingly voluptuous woman has a thick mane of wavy, raven-colored hair, bluish skin, and shimmering crimson eyes like rubies which have fires lit behind them. Though she's not beautiful in the typical sense of the word, her features are exotic and not altogether unattractive. She's not good-looking, but, you know, she's not bad-looking. Her voice is deep and sensuous. And my greetings to you, sir. Her burning eyes roam over you. I am Kasai Saris. What might I do for you? Anything. Do anything you want to me. She laughs heartily, revealing canines long enough to be considered fangs. She shakes her head and smiles at more. Truly, though, please, what can I do for you? I had some questions. What can you tell me about the silent prostitute? That's Echo. She's very sweet, but so quiet. I understand that she said something once which caused some great tragedy, and because of that, she'll never speak again. She shrugs, smiling. An interesting enough story, but I don't know if it's true. Try asking Delora. I've seen her talking to an ex-lover of Echo, back from a time when Echo was speaking. Well, shit. Ravel puzzle well? No, okay. Are you sure? All right, well, good talk. Vivian? This tall, elegant woman with her sharp features and regal demeanor is a striking example of aristocratic beauty. Her clothes appear to be spun of silver thread, and a small file dangles from her necklace. She is perfumed with an exotic, erotic sense that seems to draw you towards her. Hello. She looks you over, arching an eyebrow with what you sense to be disdain. Greetings, my name is Vivian. Am I to presume I am being summoned? I had some questions. What can you tell me about the silent prostitute? You mean Echo? She's a dear, quiet. Vivian frowns. That may be part of the charm. There's all manner of speculation as to why she's silent, but I think 'twas that her heart was most horribly broken. Delora might know best. Fuck. What is that vial? Oh, that. 'Tis a vial of perfume merely. I assure you, though, that this particular aroma in no way compares to my personal scent. Your what? Yes, I have a particular scent that seems to have gone wandering. 'Tis somewhat difficult to keep in one place. I hope that someone did not take it by accident, though you never know with the ladies around here. Any chance if you smelled it somewhere? How can a scent go wandering? I had meant to infer that it had been taken. The ladies here are a bit jealous at times and have been known to take my various perfumes for themselves. This time, though, someone has absconded with my own personal scent. I worked on that scent, perfected it, and now poof, 'tis gone. I need not bear such annoyances. Vivian stomps her feet. I want that scent back, and I want it now. How would you know? What? You would know it by smell, I assure you. 'Tis quite striking, especially to men. That's me. I can help you. Are you certain? I expect a reward. She rolls her eyes, as I should be expected from your brutish mercenary appearance. Okay. Very well. Recover my scent, and I shall aid you with yours. That foul, vinegary smell. 'Tis in your skin. No bathing will remove that stink. How would you do this, and how would it benefit me? To answer your first question, I possess certain skills, magical in nature, which I shan't elaborate upon further, which allow me to create and change one's scent. And the benefits? You simply cannot deny the fact that the smell of a man or woman plays an important part in how well one is received. Whether you've been told so or not, I'm quite certain people are at least a tad put off by that deathly aroma of yours. It might increase your charisma considerably to smell a bit better, huh?
Updated my journal.
Then the deal is done. Should you run across it, let me know. I'm somewhat anxious to get it back. Okay. Whoa, hello. A handkerchief. This container is locked, not for long. Oh, I'm a bad guy. Nice try, hookers.
Forced it.
I think I've talked to everybody now.
How may I help you?
I had some questions. This shit again, Anna. Amnesiac. I guess missed one. I might have missed one on the left. Juliet, we've spoken. Adder tongue. Oh yeah, she was just walking around the middle, wasn't she? There you are. Nope, that's Marissa. Well, still gotta talk to her. Squinting at the figure behind the partition, you can barely make out a shapely female form in the darkness. She turns to you, but you can see nothing of her face. Hello? The figure answers in a tone that's slow and deadly, like a steel dagger. Yes? Come to speak with Marissa, have you? Quite rude of you to enter a darkened room, storming behind my partition like so. Rude and foolhardy. You can hear a faint whispering sound like a slight breeze, or the hissing of serpents. Creepy shit. I wasn't sure if someone was here. The woman gives a slight humph, but it would seem that there is someone in this room, wouldn't it? Shall you be on your way then? I had some questions. Do you know where Vivian's scent is? Nope. Alright, do you know about Echo? Ask Delora. What's with the screen? Is it your wish that I step away from this partition into some patch of light and you speak face to face? She laughs, and there's the sound of scales sliding on this. Ooh. Some sort of snake lady. Why is it so dark in here? To prevent any unwanted and embarrassing casualties, she's a Medusa. I want you to come to light. I have the salve for this. What do you look like? The darkness hides us both. Let's make it a game. I'm frightfully bored. Let me guess. Are you a human male? I think so. You think so? It's kind of complicated. I really have no sure idea of what I am. Truly? That's almost interesting. There's the sound of hissing in the darkness. Describe yourself for me. I'm tall with an athletic build, very handsome. I am fucking fugly. How are you so horribly scarred? Never mind. I do not wish to know. Describe yourself for me. She describes herself as a shapely, pale-skinned, beautiful woman with a forked tongue, hair made up of writhing asps, and glowing eyes, which you assume she must be keeping shut. Are you a fiend?
Updated my journal.
She laughs lightly, the sound accompanied by a slight hissing. Hardly. Though I've powers some might call fiendish, my glance turns living things to stone, for instance, from beings of flesh to statuary with the bat of an eyelash. Living things to stone. Could you turn, say, a limb into a statue? Why would I do that to my limb? I suppose I could, had you a limb, and were I inclined to do so, and I might be so inclined, had I my crimson veil, but I do not know where it's gone. Have you seen it perchance? Is it just a veil? No, not quite. It aids me in communication, face-to-face communication. Do you need to hide your face because you're a Medusa? Enough with these asinine questions. Why would I want to do that to a limb? All right. Add her tongue's the last one, and then fall from grace might join. The hell did she go? Yeah, I bought the salve, didn't I? We definitely saw the salve. That'll be a problem for next time.
All right.
There you are. The wild-looking tiefling girl meets your gaze with an angry scowl. Her tattooed body is practically naked, covered by only a narrow leather thong, a black cloth brazier, and armored shoulder pads that appear to serve more as decoration rather than actual protection. Her spiked hair, as well as the thin fur that covers her goat-like legs, is brassy white, and numerous silver rings dangle from her ears, nostrils, lips, and brow. She wears a leather collar around her throat with the inscription, Kamaxi Addertongue. Hello. She bares her teeth at you. Just what are you looking at, you banged up sod? Okay. What makes you think I care? Why don't you lick my backside? Ah, my tongue's not wide enough. Whoa. Well, you seem like the taste of offal in your mouth, you dung-breathed cretin. Only because it's like kiss okay. You mangy stinkpot. Kiss me? She makes a retching sound. I'd rather kiss a bloody mass of phlegm than lay my lips on you. No thanks. Don't thank me. Thank the power someone actually wants to kiss you. She looks at a loss for something to say. For an instant, a smile threatens to crack the grimacing mask of her face. Then she becomes more of a basilisk than ever. What do you want of me? Questions answered. Where's the crimson veil? Up your arse, perhaps? Hells, I don't know. Okay, this is good. Whoops. questions. Do you know where the perfume is? Try a hive gutter. Okay. Oh, to be serious though, Marissa stole it. No, but I'm hoping you'll go stomping into her room and upset her enough to do something awful to you. Oh, she's the fucking Medusa. I've spoken to 9 prostitutes. Do you know who or where the 10th is? She's hiding under my bed. Okay, fucking great. Get down on your hands and knees and check. As you look beneath Kamaski's bed, nothing's there, of course. You become aware of her standing behind you. I couldn't. It's just too easy. Get up, you poor stupid debtor. There is no 10th student. Silent prostitute. I think I saw her playing Go with an old crush. Alright, well, it looks like we'll stop here for tonight. There's no 10th student.
How may I help you?
I couldn't find the 10th. And you could not find the 10th student. How curious. I'm thinking the 10th student is me. In which case, I've spoken to all of them. Huh. What are your thoughts? I have learned what it means to aspire to be a sensate and that it's better to go in search of experience rather than have it come to you. Very well, I will travel with you if you desire my company. I do.
You have learned some new tricks? Yes.
She's fucking really angry she joined. I guess I leveled up a little bit, though. I want some backstab. Apparently it only goes up to 90. Detect traps, I guess. Nope, didn't get any points this level, that's why. Mystery solved. That's what she looks like. Her chastity bodice. Fall from Graces is made from the tanned hide of some creature. Despite its prim and proper appearance, it does little to detract from her sensuality. The bodice possesses no known powers other than some minor enchantments that prevent it from becoming dirty and repairs minor tears in the fabric. Slight slashing damage. A diary? Oh, she might have some chit-chatting to do. Now, what the hell is she? She's a priest. Man, looks like she made a face at the wrong time when they took her picture. Priest scrolls. Blessing. All right, she's got some heals. Prayer. +1 to attack damage and saving throws to everything who is friendly to the priest within 60 feet. Call lightning. I feel that's unnecessary. Let's take on the prayer. Cure serious wounds. What level is she? She's 7. That's not too bad. Yeah, I remember prayer or blessing was really strong in Baldur's Gate, so that's going to come in handy when we do have to fight stuff. So we got 2 new characters today. We made almost no progress on the main story, though. We're still looking for Ravel Puzzlewell, but maybe we can find her next time in her maze. So thanks for coming out to watch, and I'll see you next time.